Hello. Oh no, what have you done? Oh, I've got desktop audio muted, so that's really not useful at all. There we go. Might need to turn it. I might just need to turn the actual. I'm a professional streamer, so people expect this from
I
me all the
believe
time.
you.
This level of professionality.
So we're live?
We are live. Don't worry, I don't actually have any viewers, so it's not a big deal.
Cool.
It's
For
not
the
true.
recording, though,
I'm a viewer.
we're playing Path of Paper, which is D&D tabletop type game based on Path of Exile. Everything's around D10, so it's pretty simplified, very combat focused, and yeah, pretty much all the rules of Path of Exile condensed down into something you can actually write. There's not a lot of math involved. It's created by Angry AA, very smart system that he made basically from scratch. And I've written a completely original story, but still based in the Path of Exile world. So you're going to see a lot of characters and things that you should know from the game. The one difference, if anyone's into the lore, is that in Path of Paper, instead of virtue gems being condensed power of, say, like the Beast, it's all soul based. So soul crafting is a thing, and soul power, and you can absorb the soul of a dead person to gain their abilities. That's one of the minor differences in the system, just to make things a little bit easier, because to explain virtue gems in a Path of Paper system and how they work would be about as complicated as it is in the actual game. So is everybody ready?
Sure. Ready when you
I'm
are.
ready.
Yeah. All right.
You're starting
So-
us.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do first is go around the room and everyone tell us an interesting fact about yourself. No. So we're gonna get character names and tell me what time period you're in and a little bit about your character. I'm gonna start with Turi. We're just gonna go from the current time period backwards.
Okay. So my character's name is Kaylah. She is from the current time period that Path of Exile is set in, the game is set in. She was recently exiled on 1 count of adultery and 1 count of resisting Templar authority.
And what is she doing right now at this moment?
Hiding out. Trying to stay as well away from anyone else as she possibly can.
All right, so she's hiding out. She's probably on Ray class already. She was exiled. In your hidey hole, all of a sudden, the wall that you were leaning up against, a portal opens up, black and inky, and you fall into it. All right, now we'll go to the height of the Eternal Empire, which would be Coopz.
That's me. So I'm Tiberius. I was a former guard to Emperor Chitus. However, I did some stupid stuff and got on Malachai's radar, and he did some experiments on me, and now I'm a failed Gemling Legionnaire from Malachai's experiments, and I'm currently not doing too good because I'm almost dead and I'm just strapped to a table somewhere in a dungeon.
Oof.
You're strapped to a table, and as the experimenters come back and they're ready to inject more thaumaturgy into your body, a portal opens up beneath the table, and your bonds disappear as you fall into the Blackie Ignis. Now we'll go back even further to the Vol Empire, which would be Ildriss.
Should be the one with the Val-looking name on screen. My character is Quizzix Ipatzel, a student of Trinian, Intellectus Prime. Where are my notes? He's not currently in any strife, unlike the other two, though I'm sure there's going to be a portal that's going to change all of that drastically any moment now. And he's generally involved in, he's an intellectual, he's involved in Trinian's research to an extent. He was, they were looking into Zerfi's methods of prolonging life through extreme torture. And currently he's just in his study office, whatever you want to call it, making some notes.
In your study, you look up and you see a book about strange incursions that have been happening into a temple that's under construction right now. And as you read the title, a portal opens up beneath your seat and you fall into the inky blackness. We'll go
Alva, what have you done?
We'll go back even further to the very time of the first ones for Light and Passion.
Yes, I am Morien, the pre-beast Ezomite. Right now, would most likely have just finished a hunt and about to perform a sacrifice.
And as you pull the blade up to sacrifice a beast to the first ones, you plunge the blade down into the beast's skin, and all of a sudden, the same portal opens up beneath your feet, and the blade sticks into the beast, and you fall through it, no longer losing all sense of self. As you all fall, everyone's pulled into the same portal. You feel 4 pieces mold together and become one, and you feel like you are finally complete for the first time in your entire lives. And then you wake up, and you're standing in complete darkness, when a massive face of blue fire appears in front of you, eclipsing your vision. You can feel the heat of the flames as it opens its mouth and speaks with a booming voice that rattles through your bones, and it says, "Are you gods?"
Working on it.
The face contorts into a look of confusion and disappears, and after a moment, a lamp clicks on in the darkness, and you can see a small, balding, gray-bearded man sitting at a desk in the center of the void. He has a large rune on the desk in front of him, and various writing utensils spread haphazardly all over his desk. He stands. "Oh, I'm sorry, it's you! I should have learned by now, or perhaps later. It looks like you've lost some things this time around, so what brings you back here?"
I grab him by the throat and slam him up against the wall. Where am I?
You try to walk towards him, and it seems like the desk stays the same amount of distance away each time you walk, and you're not moving very much at all.
What Templar tricks are these?
No tricks. You came here. You're the ones who made it here.
Where exactly is here? I say,
Game of the
grunting
old
in
one.
pain.
And
This is the Nexus, a place outside of time. Hard to get to, you would think. But you just keep showing up. You and that Alva girl.
So you've seen us before then?
Yes, plenty of times. Each time a cycle ends, in fact. And with that, after your 4 questions that I was going to give you, you see out of the darkness behind him, something distorts the bubble of light that spreads from the lamp. A distortion forms, and it starts off as a small bump in the shadow and grows, and it looks like a hand pushing through thin cloth. The darkness forming around it grows tighter and tighter, and the darkness distorts above the old man's head. And just before it reaches where the old man is seated, a rip in the darkness opens up to reveal a long, vicious, dark gray scythe about half the size of a man. The scythe sweeps down into the old man's chest and yanks him backwards. The man grapples the edge of his desk, blood forming in his lips, and he looks up at you for a moment and smiles. Back to the beginning! He wipes blood from his mouth and slaps the rune on his desk as he's ripped backwards into the shadow. The blood begins to seep into the rune, filling each of the curves, and the rune begins to glow brightly. All of a sudden, a large portal rises from the dark ground, black and swirling, framed in black wings and feathers. A symbol is suspended at the top of the portal. This symbol. As you fall through the darkness, you feel yourself splitting apart from 1 to 4, and finally you hit the ground in 4 distinct pieces. And you wake up, and you're in a pit, surrounded by bones.
Surrounded by bones and each other?
And each
Or
other.
ourself, as the case may be?
The walls are twice your height, about. You can see discarded weapons and decaying armor mixed throughout all the bones.
Find a weapon.
What sort of weapons are we talking about?
Well, you could roll perception to find out.
Alrighty. Where the hell are we?
Let's do that then.
Yeah.
What's the roll we have to do for that? Is it just 1d10?
It is. And unless you have any bonuses to perception, which is in your skills.
Which we wouldn't yet.
I think we all start with 2,
Yep.
don't we?
Yeah, but you level really fast in the system, so don't worry about that.
There's a 2. Oh,
You have to put a space after the, or you have to put an R. Space there, Coopz.
That'll be
All right.
4 as well.
I was 6.
So
with
we
the
got a
plus
6.
five.
Yeah, 6 and a 4. All right, so you see within the rib cages of several skeletons are glowing balls of light, green, blue, and red, as well as a rudimentary bow, a rusty one-handed sword, and an old blacksmith's hammer.
Hammer sounds good.
I'm
Pick
going to
up the
reach
hammer?
towards the green glowy orb.
You reach into the skeleton's chest and you pull out the orb, and it immediately absorbs into your body, and you now know ice shot.
Red
Just
seems-
somehow you understand how to imbue an arrow with ice. The past visions of this soldier shooting magic imbued arrows at his enemies comes to mind, and you understand intrinsically how it works.
I'll grab the red and the hammer.
As you reach into the skeleton's chest cavity and you put your hand around the red glowing soul, you see a large man who you assume the skeleton was in life, cleaving several smaller people with one large blow, and you now know a skill that you're just going to call cleave for some reason.
For some reason.
Who knows?
I look at the female who I don't think I know is called Kaylah yet. There seems to only be one left, and 2 of us.
There are 2 left.
There are
There's
2
another
left.
red and a blue.
Oh, there's 2. There were 2 reds. Okay. Never mind, I don't say that.
Mm,
But I do approach the blue one and kind of carefully inspect it, and at some point accidentally touch it and have an epitome. Epiphany.
An epitome.
As you slip on some slippery old bone detritus, your hand dips into the blue light and it absorbs through your hand. You can see a mage standing at the back of a group of soldiers, summoning a massive ball of fire. And now you know Fireball. In case
Wait,
you
it's
didn't
called
guess.
Fireball? Whoa!
Yeah, right? Like, you can call it whatever you want, but it's Fireball. You can have MTXs in this if you want to. I don't care.
As a very small Oriathan woman, probably no bigger than, 110, 115 pounds, I look at all these quite large men around me and wonder, what have I gotten myself into? And ask,
A pit about twice your height is what you've
Yeah.
got yourself into.
yeah, ask,
4 bones.
do any of you know what's happening? I was last on Rayclast?
Yes, well, I was last in my... Wait, does my character know Rayclast? How long has that been
Yeah,
around?
the Vol probably don't know it is Ray class, but he.
Okay.
Yeah, the Eternal Empire knows it is Ray class though. The first ones do not. This is all their world, so yeah.
I was in my study. We've all seemed to have been plucked from our previous lives. Again? According to the old man, whoever he was.
Stranger man.
It's all very confusing.
I saw
Made blood
Sin Symbol.
sacrifice on his table.
I saw Sin Symbol. They have something to do with the Templars, and the Templars are no good. I'm telling you, they're up to no good.
Sin.
Sin. You don't know Sin? Sin and Innocence? Have you been living under a rock?
It looks around.
Let's see that one.
Oh, very nice.
Bones under tent.
Yeah.
It looks
What?
like a,
What are these
looks like the
disgusting
old ones
things
have
at my
been-
feet?
looks like the old ones have been feasting in here.
Old ones?
Don't forget there are weapons
Lords.
around as well.
The lords of this world.
While Kaylah is muttering about what's going on, I'm going to quickly reach and take the bow as well.
That might come in handy.
My eye shot is not going to do much else.
So you pick up the bow and the blacksmith's hammer, and as y'all pick up your weapons, and just get a red dot and say you're doing it at the same time, as you pick up the weapons, the bones from which you grab the weapons start rattling. They are moving together in forming and starting to form actual full skeletal bodies, and one stands up, and then another stands up from where you took the soul gem from, and then another, and then one more, and 4 skeletons from all of the things you disturbed starts to stand. A 5th tries to form, but is unable to pull all of its body parts together through the detritus. It's just kind of vibrating there.
This I've seen before. When I got off the boat, this was happening. I ran away.
The skeletons start to walk towards you slowly. As you run away, you notice that the pit is not large enough for you to get any significant distance. It is probably, oh god, metric system. It's probably about 4 or 5 people across.
Well, social distancing 2 meters, so that's 10 meters across.
Whatever you say. And then, the skeleton's walking towards you, and they're ready to fight, so I'm gonna need an initiative roll.
Which is a 1d10 for all of us.
Unless you have
1d10
any
plus 2.
bonuses.
Plus 2.
Just trying to find where everything is on the character sheet.
We wouldn't have any
Roll
bonuses
for the
yet, but
skeleton.
plus 2.
We have 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, it's
Roll
in
for
the
the
next notes,
skeletons. After y'all are done.
That was a blacksmith hammer, you said?
Yeah, just a one-handed hammer.
Now, I
Looks
guess
like
we
we need
learn
a
everything when we
tiebreaker.
pick up the spell. Do I know I
Mace.
can
Looks
use
like we
that along with the
definitely need
cleave?
a tiebreak.
We're all getting 11s.
Oh, no.
How much wham will my short bow have?
Oh!
Is it just +1 or?
So your weapon that you have, if you look in the wiki there, in the equipment section, it will tell you the wham that each piece of gear gives you. None of it's magic. It's all just basic
Oh,
gear.
just the basic.
Mhm.
Cool, got it.
Right, and it's tier 1 right now, so yeah, you got a mace, 1 wham. The wham is added to your base wham of 1, so you have 2 wham. Pretty much everybody has 2 wham unless you picked up the bow, which gives you 3 wham, and a lucky initiative roll. Because they all have
So I get +1 on my initiative roll, and it has.
so you get to
3.
roll again, and then you pick the highest of the 2.
Oh, just lucky. Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
What
And
was
then mace gives you, they all have an implicit, so I would recommend pulling up the wiki for equipment and keeping it up.
I've grabbed the dagger myself.
All right.
what was the weapon that was with the blue gem?
So the weapons were separate from the bodies of the skeletons, but there was a hammer, a dagger apparently, a bow, and a rusty one-handed sword.
Okay. Then I guess I'm claiming a sword as I see skeletons.
Well, you can't do it right now because we're in battle. You can use one of your actions for that. All right, so the skeletons rolled a 1. They are slow-ass skeletons who just came up from God knows how long, so they're not moving real quick towards y'all. Pretty much everyone's gonna win out on that, and with this game, you can pick your order pretty much for however you rolled in initiative, as long as it's all player slots. And everyone rolled an 11, so yeah, except for Coopz.
I rolled an 11 the first one. That was my lucky one.
okay.
The second one.
Gotcha. So pretty much everyone's going for the skeletons. Y'all can pick the order you're in.
I'll let everybody else go first. I don't have a skill yet. I just have a dagger.
Pull up the old.
Sure.
Where's the?
So these things
the
together,
weapons?
can I take my cleave at these guys?
Yeah, they're all pretty close together. There's really not that much room to maneuver.
I shall.
So they're all standing almost right next to each other.
Right. Now, I'm just trying to remember. Do you roll to hit or you just roll straight up for damage on this?
You do roll to hit? Oh, yeah.
You miss if you roll a 1, is that right?
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right. Yep. You just roll for damage, which is why everything is kind of a bullet sponge.
Bit of wham of 2.
Wait, what are you doing though?
I'm going to do my cleave.
Which skeletons? Just going right in between them because there are zones, and there's 2 skeletons to a
That's what I was
zone.
asking about. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, 2 skeletons to a zone. They're pretty much within range for you to walk up and attack with 1 move, but you can only hit probably 1 or 2 with a single cleave right now.
Well, whichever 2 are closest that I can get a double hit in, I guess.
So you're going to the ones on the right,
Yeah.
because I'm assuming you're standing on the right, and you're going to go up and you're going to cleave them. So go ahead and roll for that.
All right. So it's wham. So 1d10 times 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Bam!
And I use 1 mana for that, I assume.
Yes. Each skill you use uses 1 mana unless otherwise specified by some other thing. Alright, so... You hit 2 of the skeletons for 8 damage. And they do take a little bit of a blow from that. You definitely nicked a little bit of their bones on that one. A couple of ribs break off of the second skeleton, and the other one kind of stumbles a bit into his buddy.
So cleave splits the damage. Okay.
It doesn't split the damage, but that's what happens.
Ah. Cool.
Did you want to go, Ildriss, or do you want me to?
Who's up next?
When I got this image of a fireball, did I happen to get an image of whether it's a friendly fireball or not?
There's no friendly fire in Path to Paper, and I'm not going to be a dick about it, so no friendly fire.
Okay, cool. Doesn't matter to me then whether you all charge in or not.
Could hit him right in the back of the head, and it'd be fine.
Warm.
Well, I think on my turn, I'm going to see the skeletons arise, and as the big guy charges in with his mace, kind of scramble to grab the last remaining weapon that's on the ground, which is the sword.
All right, call that your movement action. You can also fire off if you want.
Sure, let's give that a go. I will send a fireball into the midst of the skeletons.
You run forward, you pick up the sword, and you hold out a hand as you pick it up triumphantly, and a fireball shoots from your hand at the skeletons. Go ahead and roll for that.
Which is a d10 plus anything at this point.
The wham plus the added damage of the skill itself. Each skill adds damage, so make sure to pull up the skills.
This not the easiest doc to find things.
Oh yeah.
Are you using the Google Doc or the wiki?
I just got the wiki up. That's the easiest for me because all the
That's what I
skills
found
are
it,
right
yeah.
there in the skill gems.
So you're using Fireball.
I couldn't find the weapons on the wiki. I had to go to the doc.
Oh,
It is under
Popper's equipment.
Equipment. I
basic
cannot
weapon
see
information.
equipment anywhere.
At the top under pop rules, popular rules.
Or I could just quickly throw this into the chat so you can click on it.
Okay, there's equipment. It's just not in the.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not in the main header there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not in the obvious place.
All right. So getting this sorted out. So I've got. So I've got a sword which does Or is it 2 wham and does something with the crit, right?
Yep, lowers the crit rating or crit threshold by 1, so you can hit a 9 in crit with a basic attack.
And then, okay, so that's a sword. And then where is Fireball? Hits all enemies in a zone of your choice. What does zone of my choice mean?
So,
Zone.
yeah, zones are basically AoE areas in which people occupy, and right now we're gonna say 2 skeletons to a zone. It's 2 zones. One has been attacked with cleave, the other has not been touched.
Well, I will do the sensible thing and attack the one that's already been damaged.
Alright, so as we talked about before, you ran and grabbed the sword, you shoot your fireball, and go ahead and roll for it.
So I've got this right. So I've got the 1 base wham, 2 off the sword, and 4 off the fireball.
So swords don't add wham to your spell.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. Just checking everything.
Because each weapon has a type, and it will add to the type of skill gem that it's associated with. For example, swords or dex and strength skills get wham based on that.
Right. There we go, there's a roll.
And you added your damage to it. Yes, you did.
Yep.
Yeah, so that... And this will be against the skeleton's resistance, so let me check resistance. Skeletons do have a little bit more resistance than they do reduction there, so it hits them and it does blow them back a little bit, but it does not very much damage to them.
All right, noted.
It doesn't look like they are very
Not really
perturbed.
combustible.
It doesn't look like they're very perturbed by being slammed in the face with a fireball, but they are knocked back a bit and have to take a couple steps back, both the skeletons that you hit. All right.
Okay, I've run
I
as
guess I'll
far
go.
as I
I'm
possibly
gonna
can away, so...
Back myself up as far as possible. And then I'm going to ice shot the furthest skeleton away from us.
Before you do that, you're backing up without looking, I'm assuming, so let's go ahead and get a roll. That would be maneuver. There's a lot of bones and shit all over the ground, a lot of stuff to step over, so if you're going to back up through all that in the middle of battle, get a maneuver check.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Whoa.
So as you're backing up through the bones, readying your bow to shoot at the same time, you do hit one of the jutting bows, and it makes you fall over, shooting your arrow up into the sky, which looks really pretty with the ice playing off the sun, but doesn't really do any damage to anyone but your pride.
Sparkly.
So I was thinking about hiding behind Tiberius.
All right, last player slot.
But after that, interesting show of...
Can't hear.
No sound, Turi.
Yep. Am I still muted?
Just mime what you're gonna do. Use sign language.
You guys can't hear me?
I heard you say something just then.
You're
Nope,
actually
it's gone
muted in the channel, Turi.
That'd be why.
Mhm.
Thank you. Okay, so I was going to hide behind Tiberius, but after watching that spectacle, I've decided that maybe I best just get out and do it for myself. So I've currently got a dagger, but no abilities. How far away am I from the skeletons?
Not very.
Not very?
Not very far.
Because nobody's very far in this little arena, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to stab the skeleton that is on the lowest health.
Just for my own sake, how are you stabbing the skeleton? Explain the physics of that one.
Oh, definitely not above head. It's definitely not an
Okay.
above head stab. It's quite a dainty shiv,
More of a
as it
poke.
were. More of a shiv.
You gotta run forward and okay.
Run forward and shiv.
And you're shivving the skeletons on the right that had been cleaved, correct?
That's right. That's correct.
All right, roll it up. We're gonna give you the wham on the basic attack for the dagger as well, so make sure to add that.
Which is it'll be a total of 3 because I've already got 1. I've already got 2 plus another one. Do I have a wham? I have a wham.
You should have a base of 1.
Okay. Yep. Plus
then-
1 from the dagger, so it's plus 2. Yep.
Oof. So you run up with your dagger, very confident that this is going to work, and you slice at the skeleton. Has a chip in its bone, and it just kind of bounces off of it. And the skeleton looks down at you. And if you could see facial expressions on piles of bones, it would look confused.
Yep.
All right, so now it's the skeleton's turn, and they're all going to go at once because that makes it a lot quicker. And the skeletons that have been cleaved are obviously going to attack the cleaver. So we are going to swipe at...
I thought he had a mace, not a cleaver.
And they don't have any weapons. They're just barehanded, slap it at you with skeletal claws. And they're taking one big swipe at Morien. 2 of them at the same time, so we'll do the roll. 1d20,
Nasty.
and then whatever it is. And they're wham, 1 second. They only have a wham of 1, so it's not too bad, but it does apply twice. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's 1d10. Sorry, just got through playing D&D, so everything is d20. 1d20 would be a little scary right now, so let's not do that. Okay, much.
Okay.
That's actually hilarious. It's
That's
still 12.
That's perfect. Oh.
So it's gonna hit you for 12. Both skeletons in
That-
tandem, like a synchronized swimming routine, come up and swipe at Morien on each of his shoulders for 12 damage. Make sure to reduce that by your reduction.
Does that count as, because it's 2 different entities, does both those attacks get done by 5?
Where do
Because
I
our base
find
armor's
my-
5, so they only do 1, or is it 5 off the total 12?
Oh, the base wham of skeletons is 1, so it just no multiplier whatsoever. Which you won't know that on all the creatures. just for
But
the-
our armor is
I'm
5.
talking about our armor. When something like that attack, where they're attacking together, is it 5
One
armor
attack.
for both, or is it 1 attack, so it's only take 5?
Yeah, it's considered 1 attack if they're attacking together, just for the sake of not having to do a bunch of rolls and stuff. So
So reduction
Yeah.
would be just our base armor right now. Yeah.
yes.
Right now,
Yep.
yeah. Because
Okay, cool.
it was just a physical attack.
Mm-hmm. All right, then the other 2 skeletons are gonna come up to Kaylah, who ran forward and is now has her dagger plunged into the chest of one of the other skeletons, and are gonna take another swipe at her. Yeah. And it does 6 damage total.
So minus 5.
Minus
will
your
be-
reduction.
Yep, so they've hurt me for 1. So my life goes down to 19 from 20. Is that correct?
Yep, they put a scratch in the side of your cloth, but they do not do any significant damage in the side of your arm. Now we're back up to the top.
Everybody who spent
Mhm.
mana, did you take your mana off?
I did.
Because your ice shot was 2 mana, by the way.
Is it 2? I thought it was just 1.
We're gonna say it's 1 for the just to keep things rolling right now. Yeah,
All right.
because he wouldn't be able to use it if it was 2.
Yes, 4.
Cool.
But yeah,
You start with 4, but cleave again.
you're going to cleave again.
Yes, I am. 2 gentlemen's in front of me.
Wait, where's
You
Ice
can
Shot
jump.
in the skill list?
Green.
Under
Dex.
Dex.
Oh, right, of course. I've only got the blue one open. That's why I can't find
And
it.
what I missed before is cleave has
Yeah,
the damage
Interesting.
bonus of plus 4.
When you read through the skills Angry had made, like there are definitely tiers to how good certain skills are. You can read through the regular skills and see like this one adds a lot more damage than that one, even though they do basically the same thing. So you can tell when he was writing them that he was thinking, "I want this to be a higher tier skill that they should get later." Pretty interesting.
And what I missed is I got a tier bonus at so it's +4 damage per tier, so I get to whack another +4.
How did you tier up?
No, it starts per tier. You get +4, so we're starting at tier 1.
Okay, yeah, my bad.
Each skill has a tier there.
Which I missed till I just went and pulled Cleave up and found out that I get a +4. So there's 12 damage.
Wolf.
Nice and chunky.
Yeah. So he swipes at him. Little less effective than it was before, but a few more bones chop off this time, and they are looking. The skeletons are wobbling a bit. They're moving a little bit less fluidly than they were before, which, as fluid as skeletons can move, which is not very fluid, they're doing that even worse now. But they're still walking towards you, ready to go.
Alright. Next
player.
Ildriss again.
Ildriss.
Yes. So I established that my fireball was not particularly effective against skeletons. Or so it would appear. So I guess 4 skeletons, so there should still be room for me to move up and hit one of them, right? Not surrounded by people.
There is room. As long as you're moving forward, you should be able to navigate easily over the bones on the ground.
Yep. I'm going to move up to whichever one's closest and take a swipe at him with this rusty sword.
Do it.
And so for the sword, it's a ×2, right? Because it's got
Yes.
the 1 base wham and the 1 for the one-handed.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oof! So critical fails and critical successes are not really a thing, but a 1 is always a miss. So you go up with the sword unwieldy and rusty in your hand. You're just not used to it. In your life as a researcher, you didn't have much time to study the sword.
That is correct.
While you were studying the sword, I was writing books in blood. You come up and you swipe at it, and it just goes between their ribs, and they again look very confused for skeletons.
That's fair. That matches the MO of all the players, too.
Okay, well, I'm going to stand back up after my
Alright.
pitiful performance last turn. And I'm, again, they're all together now, correct? Like, they're all around Morien and Kaylah?
2 skeletons to his own. There are 2 over here with Morien and Kaylah. And also...
the other 2 must just be off to the side.
Keysex.
But that's okay. I'm gonna
two are
attack
right
the ones that are closest to Morien with my ice shot, which I believe only hits 1. So I'll hit the one on the left.
Creates a zone beneath them, but yes, hits 1.
That'll be
All right.
1d10 times 4 for my wham.
Jesus. So true to game, it's true to the life of the game. Ice shot is OP, and so you hit the ones on the left attacking Kaylah, right? Or the ones
yes.
attacking the. Okay. That actually. All right. How does it happen? Tell me how this ice shot one shots these skeletons.
Oh,
So it goes into the first one, and that explosion, true to the game, comes out from behind the first skeleton, which has just been absolutely obliterated in the first instance, and slams into the second one, freezing the bones and like shattering.
With a mighty draw of his really wank-ass bow, he pulls back and fires an ice shot, obliterates the 2 skeletons. They fall apart. One in icy shards, the other in just regular bony shards. And now we're...
boned.
Is that what you say?
He would.
I glance over at Tiberius and sort of say, thanks. As my minor action, I'd like to see if there were any other glowing things that all these guys had managed to find and pick up and play with. That I did see a red one, but didn't realize how cool they were at the time.
Go ahead and make a perception check. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff hidden around there depending on how you roll. Oh, okay. So you do see a green with your very perceptive eye. You can see beneath a pile of bones there is a green glowing soul. But it's deep in there, so you're gonna have to reach into a lot of old sharp bones to get to it.
Okay. I'm daintily going to attempt to reach into those old sharp bones to get to it, to that green one, because that green has really drawn my eye.
All right, so you reach down, your hand deep in the bones, right next to the ones that just died, and the skeletons are still locked in battle, and you touch a green soul, and as it warps into your fingertips, you suddenly see the vision of a warrior imbuing his hand with elemental power and striking soldiers in front of him, blazing them into fire while striking others and freezing them into ice. And you now learn a skill that almost looks like you're hitting things with elements. So we'll call it Elemental Hit.
I like Elemental Hit. Cool. So I've learned Elemental Hit. Now...
That's your entire action. That's
what I was going to say. Yeah, that's 2. Yeah, cool.
And now we're back up to the skeletons, the remaining ones. So the 2 remaining skeletons, unperturbed by the death of their comrades, are going to swipe again at both Morien and Quizzix. And that means we'll split the damage between the 2. So whatever this rolls, it happens to you both. Instead of double on one person, 7 to each of you. They bring their skeletal hands down and scratch at your clothing and put a few scratches on your body, but not do any significant damage, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, that's going to be 2 damage after armor, right?
It bites a little deeper on you.
How irritating. And I swing back.
Enraged by the blow and the scratching of the annoying skeletons who probably have tetanus, you cleave at the 2 in front of you.
I do indeed.
Lord Jesus.
That's a little better.
All right, how does it happen?
Just big backhand swing with the hammer and just one head into the other head, and then off they go.
You hear a sickening dunk dunk as the 2 heads fly off of the bodies, and without their heads, for some reason, magically, the bodies can't function, and they fall apart into a pile of bones. And as they fall down to the ground, the last skeleton bone stops moving. You see that all the commotion has started stirring the rest of the pile, and the entire pit starts to shake. The bones are moving and vibrating together ominously. They're starting to form together into a massive bone structure. And as this structure is forming, growing larger and larger, a long, dark-haired man leans over the edge of the pit looking down at you. Hello. Looks like you could use a little help. And he lowers a rope down to you.
I'm running towards that rope.
Yep, I'm right behind.
Yep.
So anyone who's climbing the rope, roll athletics.
Sure.
Common trend, 1d10 plus 2.
Is it always plus 2? Because that seems like what's the point in making it a
It's always
1d10
plus two.
at
We
all?
haven't put
All the
points
starting
yet.
characters are
Yeah,
identical.
we're at level
Yeah, I know, but,
0,
like-
so
It just seems weird that it's all plus 2 instead of just nothing. If you're at like level 0, it should just be 0 or whatever. Everyone succeeds, although still learning.
Me and Turi
everyone's
do it
name.
way cooler than the other two.
Yes,
Yep.
easily climbing the rope as if you've done it a million times.
Kayla's just like,
Morien-
boop, boop, boop. Like just one hand on the rope and just kind of goes, oh.
Like a dexterous spider monkey, she climbs up the rope as if she's been doing it her entire life. However, Morien barely climbs up, bringing the bulk of his body all the way up the rope, and finally makes it to the lip and pulls himself over the stone.
Crap smacked out of
It
me.
is,
so-
it is very fitting that both of the Dex characters have climbed out very,
Dexterously?
very nimbly,
Nimbly?
without actually any bonus difference. Just that's how the rolls happened.
So before you see, as I said, he's got long black hair and he's wearing a long black cloak around his shoulders, and he is very pale, white-faced, and he's got a rope tied to a tree back there, and he's smiling at you, but then he goes to untie the rope and comes back and says, "Hello, I'm Sindril, but many just call me Sin. Listen, we better get out of here before this fighting stirs up even more of the undead."
I know that name.
No objections from me.
Hmm.
Is everyone cool with that?
I took
I'm
one
happy
too
to
many
follow the
spell
random person. He
changes.
helped us out of the
Everyone
pit.
gonna trust a man named Sin? Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna
Well, he
trust
said-
him more than I trust a man named Innocence. So, yeah.
I'm going to trust him more than I trust reanimating bones,
Yeah.
which is the alternative at the moment.
So you can head back
The
into
ordeal
the-
ended. You get a chance to look around you as Sin walks through the scorched woods. There's leafless trees and dying greenery all around you. The gray grass seems to be falling at the touch. And Morien does recognize the woods. He has a little bit of an inkling of where you are, but you'll need to make a lore roll to find out if you know exactly where you are.
Ooh.
Now,
Where
Law
is
may
Law
be
on
one of the
here?
ones that. Oh no, Law's a blue one.
Yeah, there's no history roll, so lore just kind of fix it all together.
And everything's +2, so it's easy. Oh, nope, don't.
The reason we
Critical
have
fail.
two
Not
to all
only
of
do you
them.
not know where you are in the woods, you don't even know who you are. No. Okay, so you cannot tell where you are from the given landscape. Everything looks very alien. You just have an inkling that you may have seen this place, but you're not sure exactly where it is.
Oh, smells like smoke.
It's the old "you can't see the forest for the trees" saying.
I can't see the forest for the flames.
Trees are all falling apart. There are no visible flames, but it's pretty clear that something came through here and burnt a lot of this up. As you're walking, Sin will be talking to you, and he's going to ask, So how did you lot end up in the death pit? You don't look like zombies to me. Except maybe you, and he gestures at Quizzix.
Me? Well, I'm certainly no zombie, sir.
Just a joke.
He just smells dead.
So yes, how did you end up in there? Not every day someone jumps in there willingly.
Well, see, I had the same question. I have no idea how I ended up in there, and from what I gather, neither do the rest of us.
I'm pretty sure I died. And this is.
That is one of my working theories, yes.
It's another game of the first ones.
And any idea why the first ones would send you here? They're usually more worried about large groups of people than single ones, unless you did something to piss them off.
Not this time.
Who are these first ones you keep talking about? Who are you? If I'm dead, surely I'm not with people that are also dead? Are you dead? Anyone?
I'm not dead last time I checked.
I don't think so. These wounds certainly hurt like I'm not.
I don't know. I just know I'm not in Rayclast anymore.
So as you're walking and talking amongst yourselves, trying to figure out who, where, and what you are, Sin stops in the middle of the forest and pulls out a gleaming spear and turns it towards you and holds it right in Kaylah's face and said, "Right then, you don't look like the usual mercenaries my brother employs, but I don't recognize you, so tell me, how do I know you're not working for Enos?"
Enos?
Enos.
Wait.
Come
Your
now,
brother?
don't act like you don't know.
Your brother
Enos-
Innocence?
Yes, my self-righteous bastard of a little brother. His men call him Innocence, but he's just a pompous ass.
Hold on. If you think that I would be working for those Templars? Is that what you're insinuating? Because
What?
you can just leave us alone right now if that's your thoughts.
Make a negotiation roll. See if you can convince Sindrel that you're not.
Now, negotiation doesn't get a +2. Does not get any bonus from attributes.
Ah, there it is.
We're on fire today.
Let me look at my notes. So what happens when that happens?
Sorry, team.
So I think for skill rolls, one's counted like you get 5 subtracted from the skill, right? So it's a nice
true.
-4.
That's true. So yeah, he does not believe you. Obviously, he's still holding his spear to you, and he's like, "Right, I've heard that one before. They've tried everything, these damn mercenaries. I know this one is a tribesman, so I know he's not working for them, but why would you be traveling with her?" Morien. He's talking and pointing to you. He recognizes you as an Ezomite and wonders why you're here in this part of the continent.
I was hunting. I was about to perform a sacrifice. I was somewhere between. I was here.
All right, well, look, I saved you from the pit, but you're not following to find out where my camp is. You're staying right here and finding your own way. And if you follow me, I promise you will not see the daylight tomorrow. And as he turns to walk away, a massive wall of ice covers him, just encloses him inside a circle of ice. And you can hear him screaming and stabbing at the ice. And out of the trees behind you, 3 men and 2 men and a woman dressed in white come out of the woods, and they're pointing weapons at the party and at the wall of ice behind you. They're all in cloth tabards, white cloth tabards with the symbol of innocence on it. You see one in a cloth robe, one in metal armor with a large 2-handed mace, and one with a pretty well-made looking bow. And the one with a wand just cast the frost wall.
This again?
All right,
Can
so
we try and negotiate with them?
the one with the bow comes forward before you can speak. Finally got him. Now this pointless rebellion can end. Listen, by order, and he pulls out a parchment paper. By order of the Holy Purity Innocence, this man, Sindrel, is under arrest for inciting chaos, impeding the birth of the God of Humanity, and stealing soul-crafted gems and jewels. Step aside or assist us in bringing this man to justice, and you will be rewarded. Impede us, and face the cleansing fire.
I'm
I
sorry,
step
who are you?
back.
Well, he did let us out of the pit, although he did say not to follow him.
You guys don't know who these guys are?
I haven't the foggiest. I don't know who you are.
Not a clue.
Eternal Empire would know,
Would they?
because the Purity Revolt from Vol. If well, no, that happened after Chittis, but you would still know.
That happened after
wouldn't be
my
the-
time.
They wouldn't be the same
Yeah.
Templars. You know who Templars are.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't
Yeah,
look
go
the
on.
same.
They wouldn't be at the same part of the same ideology.
Yeah. So,
They would be the opposite of the thaumaturgy that.
Yes,
I
it
was
would still be
being-
all about purity, so you would recognize that part.
Yeah.
look, they're talking about cleansing fire. Trust me, it doesn't matter if you help them, if you don't go along with them. They're going to hurt you.
We owe the man who saved us a favor, at least, even if he doesn't wish to be followed.
Any more negotiation? You gonna make a decision before I put one in your eye?
I'm going to move myself behind Morien since he seems to agree with me and he's much larger than I am.
At the motion, the woman in the large metal armor with the two-handed mace kind of steps forward a little bit and gives you the eyeball.
How close does she step up?
Right next to the man with the bow, who is basically a couple of people away from you, talking to you, and he's social distancing right now.
On the one hand, I have no desire to impede you. On the other hand, the man in the ice seemed far more willing to answer questions than you are. And I have many.
You haven't asked us any questions.
I did. I asked them who they were.
We are Templars of the Holy Order of Innocence.
I'm pretty sure that means nothing to me, right?
Then why even ask?
Very rude, Templars. Okay, noted.
If you do not know the apotheosis of our new god, then you should be brought to the light, which we will do willingly, if you do not impede our capture of this upstart.
You got more pretenders.
The first ones have been bringing desolation and ruin upon all of humanity. They
I step up
enslave
and
or
you-
kill us.
Let's step up and just bam.
Alright, roll for initiative. Who do you bonk?
The one
guy
that
with
was
the
nothing, the one that,
talking
yeah, the
shit.
guy that was just
Yeah.
nothing off. Yeah. Initiative 1d10 time. Dun, 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 dun. Be nice to me. Oh, no. Screwed me again.
I'm going to assume that I've gotten myself stuck in this fight as well.
You do not have to. You could run away and leave your newfound buddies to do it themselves.
I'm not.
Always an option. You
Nah.
can do anything you want.
I've gotten myself. I've gotten myself stuck in this fight. This is a fight that I think is worth fighting.
You do feel a strange connection to these three strange men, though. Like you may be
Yes.
family or something.
I was just thinking that while I have no desire to get into a conflict right here, I also don't want to leave these people alone just yet. Because I don't know
Yeah.
exactly what's going on, but we're somehow connected. So I too shall get involved.
All right, is everybody rolled? Nope.
Does mana regenerate out of combat?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
We're gonna.
Good
save.
question. Thank you.
As soon as
Alright.
if I remember.
Whoever has the bow can roll twice.
Oh yes.
Lucky.
Normally, the
Take my
the
first
guy
one.
with the bow.
So you can do lucky rolls with the keep command or drop command.
Which command's that?
So, for example, that will roll twice and keep the higher one.
Oh,
Two
nice.
Okay.
d10, keep one.
So normally,
And
the NPCs would go first, but because he got bonked on the head, y'all win the initiative tie of 6. That's what I will say. So you have a player slot, NPCs, or sorry, player slot, NPCs, player slot, player slot, player slot.
Oh, the cleave, of course.
After bonking him on the head, you fluidically move into a big cleave against the one guy standing in front of you that you bonked.
Wasn't she next to him though?
Not close enough to cleave. They're a little bit apart. She walked forward, like, okay, let me do this right here. Here's the person with the bow. Here's the person with the mace, just out of the range. The ranges are about that large, and the person with the wand is behind them right here. They're kind of in an I formation.
Cool.
You guys are here.
She stepped up to him, so
here, and I'm assuming right there. And Sin is in a big ice wall behind you, in a big ice circle.
I'm cold it anyway, so I'll use it.
Because Sin is cool.
He certainly is at the moment.
There we go.
That was a lot of numbers. You cleave at the bow-wielding Templar.
Down and then right around an uppercut.
Moving straight into an uppercut like a ballet dancer. Dealing a certain amount of damage.
18 minus epsilon.
We don't get any healing out of combat either, do I? So I'm pretty screwed still.
Only flasks. Which
Yeah,
we don't
flasks
have yet.
and rests.
Which we didn't.
All right. So now it is NPC slots. The bow wielder does lose. He's not able to act. He got surprised by the bonk on the head after talking, so he can't actually bring the bow up to use it. Plus, you're right up on him, so it's going to be really hard for him to draw back. But the other two are definitely going to do stuff. First off, the one with the mace, she was ready to go from day one. So she runs up and immediately attacks Morien because no one else has really done anything offensive except for that guy. She recognizes you as a First One's worshiper, so she's going to go for you with her big-ass mace. Now let's see what she does with that big-ass mace. And immediately kills you with no roll whatsoever.
Heretic!
Rocks fall, everybody dies.
Oh my god, I lost all my gear stuff.
And Ursa drops down. Boom.
Oh god, not drop bears.
Never the drop
Or
bears.
drop bears koalas.
Well,
They are.
yeah.
Okay.
They're distant
The ones with
cousins.
a really, really bad case of chlamydia, and they like to drop out of the trees and eat you.
Okay,
That's
so like
not
my ex.
chlamydia. But yes, okay.
Where's the damn equipment sheet? Did you post it? There it is.
Okay.
All right. Oof. Let's do it.
It sounds like it's going to hurt.
Two-handed mace.
Well, it's not going to hurt me, so we're all good.
The DM seems to be smiling by quite a bit.
It's times 3. So, 27 damage. Oh, wait, times 4, because the wham is added. So, 36 damage.
Oh, yeah.
Across the top of your Esmite head.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Brings the big
even at full
glory of
kind
innocence
screwed.
face down upon you and smacks you in the face.
Yep, even at full strength we're screwed, so. I'm out.
All
No,
right.
you're not.
So you're down. You're
Well, I'm
not
down.
dead. It's on the ground.
He's out.
All right. And then the one with the wand is going to point at who is next to it, which everybody is standing pretty far apart, but the person that was talking directly to... Going to point at Quizzix. Quizzix. Keysats Haderach. Sorry, I can't get that out of my head.
Quizzix?
Quizzix? Yes.
Is the Quizzix.
Gonna point at Quiznos and shoot
Quiz notes.
a icy skull. Fires a frozen skull projectile. Man, what does it do? And that is a +2. And then the wham on that is... 2. So does 14 damage.
And I assume that's not mitigated by... Oh no, we do have some resistance, right. So also -5.
Leaves a slick of ice around you too, so it slows everyone's movement moving through it. But you're not far enough away from it, it's going to significantly hamper your ability to get in and out of combat with them.
Okie dokie.
Except for the people that are engaged.
Is that
And
anybody
the bow
anymore?
guy-
Seeing our one person is down?
Yeah, well, the bow guy is fumbling because he just got hit in the head. He's definitely not ready, but we have one player down. So it's back to player slots.
Alright, well, I am going to return fire. Ball.
Ah,
Did you say they're all standing apart, right? They're all in separate zones?
we're now like this with 2 of the enemies, bow person and mace wielding lady, because she ran up to
Yep.
kill Morien in the face. The wand guy didn't move; he's still back here.
Alright, well,
I'm
I'm...
assuming you're.
I mean, statistically, I should fire at the 2 that are next to each other, but that's not the one who just hit me, so I'm going to send a fireball at the one guy at the back.
Do it.
Do it.
That's a bit better.
That's with your added? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yep.
So the fireball makes contact. It comes right up to the face of the guy with the wand in his long flowing robe, and you can see something around the air shimmers in blue light, bluish white light, and it flickers and flickers a bit and comes right back up after flickering off and on for a while. And he does look pretty shocked at how that fireball affected him and how some ragtag person was able to fire such a magical, put his balls in his face. No, I should fire such a fireball with such strength. So,
And,
and we're back to another player slot.
Okay, so I am going to use my elemental hit to imbue my dagger with electricity. And I am going to a little bit more confidently shiv the woman with the
Sorry, I just forgot. You passed his threshold on the guy with the energy shield, so he does burn next round.
Cool.
Damage. He's ignited, so the fire does not hit him, but it reaches all around his shield and it starts to heat up the shield. And like something inside a microwave, it's heating him up as well, causing burning damage. Sorry, Turi, go ahead.
That's okay. So yeah, I've got a little bit more confidence because I'm pretty pissed off that Morien, who was quite a good meat shield, is now down on one knee, and I'm quite well. I'm a sitting duck really. So I'm shivving the lady with the two-handed mace, with my elemental hit with electricity damage. Because apparently I can choose. And I'm not sure how I've figured it out. I just know. Instinctually, I just sort of know that I can use electricity to imbue this dagger. So I'm rolling a 1d10.
I completely forgot about thresholds this entire time until now. Y'all would have stunned the skeletons and did more stuff to them. So keep me honest on that, and keep.
That's all right. We
yourself
forgot
honest.
about it too.
Yeah, if it's something passes your threshold.
Wouldn't have changed the outcome of that one, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So I believe because there is plus 12 damage to elemental hit, and my wham is 2. I'm rolling a 1d10 plus 12 times 2, right? I hope that's right. We'll figure it out.
Oh well, the plus goes after, so Pim does. So you do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do 1d10 times 2 and then plus 12.
Yeah, 1d10 in brackets times 2.
Or just do it
So-
ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
That's cool. That's fine. It's essentially exactly the same thing, right? No. Oh, that's
All right,
much less.
so you're going for the lady in the armor? Yes.
That's right,
Okay.
yeah.
With your elemental hit, you bring your knife up and go underneath her metal armor, and lightning imbued hits her in the body, but you do feel chainmail under there. She definitely shocks a little bit. She's like gets a little bit of a jolt out of it, but it doesn't do a lot to her bodily. She looks a little shaken by that, though. Definitely not ready for you to put lightning right up under her armor.
Her hair's all like standing on end.
come on, Mr. OP Ice Shot, do the thing.
So I'm going to aim the ice shot at the bow guy, because I want his bow. And yeah,
Bow bro.
A simple
Nobody has
yet
name.
obvious motivation.
Oh shit! All right, so that passes threshold too, and smacks the bow guy pretty damn hard. So bow guy was just getting his shit together when a massive ice arrow, magically imbued, hits him straight in the fucking top of the head as he's bringing his bow up to take a shot, and knocks it back a little bit, and he shoots his arrow up into the air, and it passes his threshold, which freezes him. Freeze does something different in this. If cold damage exceeds the target's threshold, the target is chilled until the end of the attacker's next turn, and have their speed reduced by 2. All attacks against chilled opponents increase the crit range by 1. They can still cast spells or attack normally, assuming opponents are in range. The attack has a speed of 0, and they can't leave their zone, but otherwise fight normally. So, you can crit on him a lot easier, and he got smacked in the top of the head pretty hard. He is not looking too hot right now.
So crit would be a 9 or a 10 now then.
9 or a 10.
and both
Yeah, so
him and the chick are now in like a little frozen area,
yes,
and
exactly.
have their speed reduced by 2 as well.
Yes, so an icy ground covers the area beneath icy ground is under everyone now because Arctic Blast was shot first, so everyone is covered in icy ground right now. Speed is reduced across the board, but the guy with the bow is definitely feeling it a lot more than others. He's slipping and sliding, and he can't really keep himself aloft right now with all the hits he's taken.
Oh, wait, am I meant to add a +8 to that? Fires an arrow that converts all damage to cold, so that's blah blah blah, hitting one target, creating a patch of ground in a zone. This reduces enemy speed by 2. Ice shot lasts 1 turn and deals 8 bonus damage to a single target.
Right. Okay, well then how do you kill him?
Sorry, I for some reason I was thinking that was the freezing ground, but freezing ground doesn't do damage. It would just be the chill. So,
Yeah,
no.
anyway.
seeing it's going to go passive pressure, I shatter it. The arrow slams into the side of his head, and not his entire body, just like his upper half, as the cold goes through him, just turns to ice, and he falls down on top of Morien.
Ice rains down on Morien's head like crystal rain, and you
Little
can,
red
you can
gunk.
feel
His pieces rain down somewhat
feels
reminiscent of the
beautiful until
skeletons.
you see eyeballs and pieces of body are inside this ice, like
Yeah.
like gore ice cubes. Now we're at NPC slots again. Enraged by the death of one of her Templars, the woman in the iron armor and the metal armor takes a run and tries to run towards Tiberius to get to them, but her speed is significantly reduced. But she has leap slam, so she gets on her haunches.
Of course
She leaves out on her haunches with all the rage and anger, and then makes a huge leap over the air, over Morien's kneeling body, and comes straight at Tiberius. The ice below her feet cracks across the ground from where she jumped, and she lands right on top of you. And this is what she does.
Come on, slip over and ice. Slip over and ice.
Can't slip when you're in the air. So, and that's 12. Yeah, so 12 total damage. So she leaps and
You got
lands.
off easy.
Yeah, lands right on top of you, smacking down. But she didn't get good leverage in the air because that's impossible. So she just kind of comes down on your shoulder, dropping the mace. It is heavy, but it doesn't hit as hard as it could have.
So that hits for 12.
Minus
Let me
Okay.
get the
Before
added.
armor?
Sorry. Let me get the added. It hits for 16 total.
Cool. So I take 11, so I'm down to 9.
And 11 is above your threshold.
Yes. So I guess I'm stunned, saying it's physical damage.
Sorry. It does 14. I'm reading too far.
Okay.
At 14.
Ah, 14.
14,
So
which is
I-
9, which is below the threshold.
You get +4 on maneuver and athletics rolls, but +2 on damage. So that's...
Cool.
Also seeing this happen, the mage in the back takes another look at the battlefield and is going to take his wand up in the air and conjures another icy blast in it and shoots it straight at Kaylah, and a massive frost wall covers her as well. And you and Morien are entrapped in an ice palace frost wall.
Oof.
Now we're back at player slots.
The code never bothered me anyway.
Good.
Frost walls do have HPs, by the way. You can kill them. And we're gonna say fire does extra damage to it because I'm the DM.
Cool. I was just thinking that. I'm like, is this fire blast a bit too quick to do anything to the ice? But,
Elements count in this game.
cool. So that zone has Kaylah and Morien.
Oh wait, yeah, it says right here, fire damage does double damage to the wall. Good job,
Cool.
Angry.
Yeah, so if I were to fireball that ice, are Kaylah and Morien the only ones in that zone?
They're enclosed in it. Plus the dismembered and frozen body of the guy with the bow, in case you care about that.
Yeah, okay.
They're kind of trapped in there
I'll-
right now.
I'll
and it's
melt
starting to
him back a
It's
bit.
starting to smell terrible inside this frost palace.
Well, I'm certainly going to do that then. Send
Alright.
a fiery blast at that wall, see if I can't counter it.
They shot-
Also, the guy is on fire this turn, right?
Yes, yes. So actually, does 50% of the damage. He, after shooting the icy blast, the burning around him reaches a massive heat spike, and his shield just all of a sudden drops, and you see the blue and white shimmering fall to his sides, and he starts like getting red all his skin, and he's burning, and he's trying to pat it out. But there's nothing to pat out. He was just in a
Stop,
super
drop, and
cooked
roll,
shield.
buddy.
But he's still alive. He's still up. He's just like looking real rough right now. Burnt skin and smelling terrible. If that matters.
Well, it matters that his energy shield didn't come back.
Smells
Oh,
like
went away, in fact. All right,
Would you
so
like
I'm
to
gonna-
know what else he smells like? Because I could go into detail.
I'm
All
entombed
the
in
scents that are
ice,
happening
right?
right
So I
now.
can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's other sense in
They're
between me and
having
him. And so I'm going to fireball that wall. Never mind. No, I'm not.
So you're feeling very confident at all the fireballs you've been throwing lately, and you pull up your sword to aim your fireball, thinking that would make it stronger. And as you shoot it, it sputters out before it gets close to the wall, and you're like, maybe this weapon isn't exactly useful for magic.
Yep. It's okay, I see a wand within vision.
Is my
so
face also frozen?
Huh?
Because is my face frozen also?
No,
Or
you're
am I
not
just
frozen.
behind? Because I would like to roll my eyes at Quizzix.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
He can't see you, but you
Okay,
can do
but
that.
I can do that. Cool.
So now our player slots.
I'm a
my turn then, or is it?
Do
Can
I
Kaylah
get a
do
turn?
anything?
Can I even do anything?
Yeah, you could try to fight the wall.
With the fire damage.
Yeah, okay.
You could also search the detritus below you for anything useful for this battle.
That's actually probably a better idea since Tiberius was after a bow, which he may have. Well, I've been watching him use it, so yeah. Can I have a look at what I can get a hold of within the area that I'm stuck in?
Yes. So you do see a flask half filled. It looks like with a strange inky blue and red liquid that keeps shifting in between the two colors, as well as his very finely crafted bow, but it's half frozen in the wall right now.
Okay.
The
So
flask is there.
I'm going to pick up the flask, which is half full.
You're not really sure what it does, but it does look pretty magical, and you can't really get anything worse when it comes to what's happening to Morien.
Yeah, looks pretty shiny. I'll grab it.
Down the gullet.
I am also going to just pour it straight into Morien's mouth as my major action.
She reaches down and grabs the bridge of your nose and pulls it back so you open your mouth like a nutcracker. It dumps the strange liquid into it, hoping that it does something other than kill you horribly. And Flask's heals up to your threshold.
Ooh.
Din, 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 and then you are healed to your
Half.
threshold.
So up to half. Neat.
Morien stands up, wipes his lip, and feels invigorated by whatever just happened.
Wow. Thank you.
And is now presented by a wall of ice.
Yeah, and all you see is ice
Like,
and Kaylah.
did you do this?
Look, they
Probably
got a
not
room.
seen as a first living in the time of the first ones. You're probably not used to seeing too much ice.
No.
Did you asked me if I did this?
Mm.
Not the ice, but you, yeah.
Oh,
She did you without consent.
That's all right. Just stay in front of me, yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure she likes going from behind.
Do I get my turn now, or do I still have to wait around to the beginning of the round?
You'll have to wait till the next one because you just came back alive. It'd be weird if y'all could res and immediately go.
Yeah, that's cool. I was
Okay,
just
that
going to
leaves
look around and see
me
if there's
then
any shit.
engaged with Axe Lady or Mace Lady.
Yeah, Mace Lady is all up in your face, enraged that you killed her probably boyfriend, and she is ready to go to town.
Am I able to use bow attacks in melee? There's no penalty on it, is there?
There is not, although there probably should be. I don't think there is.
Like, I couldn't see anything in regards to it.
Yeah, I didn't either. But yeah, no, there's not really any penalty to it. If she was doing something like actively against you,
At the time, yeah.
Yeah, but no, you're right. The only thing
Cool,
that it
well,
does is it reduces your speed for that turn.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm going to draw back on my bow again and unleash another eye shot at point blank range at
Oof.
her, and hopefully roll well enough to actually do something. Oh wait, no, that is the wrong roll.
And you added your added damage.
That's the
It's
wrong
meant to be times
multiplier,
4.
and no plus.
I'll take for 2. That's
Okay.
fine, but it will actually be 8 plus 8, so it'll be 16.
That
Alright.
sounds more accurate.
You pull back your bow, which has really been doing a lot of work for you these past few minutes, and you release an ice-imbued... Oh. Mana. You can't do Ice Shot again because you don't have any mana.
I've got 4 mana base. So it's 2 mana.
Wait,
so I've got
from
2
where?
plus 2.
Yeah,
Base mana is 4.
Basement is 4, so he should be able to do 2 ice shots.
So
in
I
a
can
combat.
do 2 ice
Shit.
shots in a combat.
Okay, I'm an idiot. Yeah. Base mana is 4. I for some reason I thought it was 1. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. So Ice Shot is okay to have it level 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you pull back and you release. You put all the rest of your power into this shot, and you release it right at her face, snarling and angry at you. And it kind of like dings against her metal breastplate and kind of blows into her arm and freezing it just a bit, but not doing any significant harm to her.
Cool.
She does look a little taken aback by that, but she ain't too bad off. All right. We're back up to the top, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Which was Morien.
Still encased in ice.
I can. Well, I got no way out of here.
You can hack at the ice. That's
I can get the ice.
something
There's
you can
nothing
do.
else on the floor or on the ground around.
He's got a hammer. It's not the least
There-
efficient weapon for hitting ice.
The pieces of the fallen Templar are around you, but most of it is either encased in the ice wall or body parts that you might not want, or unless you're hungry. I don't know.
Just suck on an eyeball.
Would be more crunch in an
Okay.
eyeball.
No, I'll put it in my mouth. I think it's the back of my tongue. Wiggle it around, make it look like it's looking around the place.
How tall? How tall is the ice wall?
Okay,
The
I will
ice
hit
wall
the-
is
let's
probably
hit
about
the
8.
ice wall. Let's
Oh,
just-
sorry, 8 feet, which is like
Person and a half-ish.
yeah, person and a half height.
Yeah, no bonuses or anything. Just so straight up 1d10 times 2.
Unless you're gonna cleave it.
No, I don't think I'll.
No,
I mean, I
don't
need
think
hit it.
I will.
uh,
All right, so
hit the wall.
So you hit the wall, and it takes a huge chunk out of it, but it doesn't fall completely. So you can now kind of see what's happening out there. You can see through it, and now you can roll your eyes successfully. But you can't quite get out yet. The wall is definitely looks like it might only take another couple blows to bring it all down, or maybe
Is,
one blow.
Regarding mana, is Tiberius aware that he's out of mana and can't do ice shots anymore? Is that like a thing he feels?
Yeah, if you try
I'd
to do
assume so.
something when you're out of mana, you'll try to call upon the soul energy, and the way that you feel to cast spells, the power just doesn't come to you anymore for some reason. You feel dry almost.
Okay, so
Now we're back to NPC slots.
yeah.
So, Mace Lady is still pretty enraged. She just got shot in the arm. One of her arms is behind her back, but she does have one hand. So she's going to take another swipe right down at Tiberius, but with disadvantage for frozen arm. Oh, God. Come on, Mace Lady.
Good.
Come on, lady.
Yeah.
Oh, no!
That's what we want to see.
I'm okay
So
with this.
Macy pulls up the one-handed mace and tries to swing it with all her might and slips a little bit on the ice and goes wide from you and hits right beside you.
Excellent.
Now the mage is still looking really rough, but he musters the strength to pull up his wand one good time and is sort of whispering at it and like, please God, let this work. And he puts it up and imbues it with blue icy power again and shoots another skull of frost straight at... Where are you all?
Is he going to be able to see us now that he's put the ice wall up? Aren't
Well,
we
you can't
all?
see the
I
people
mean,
You can't see the ones in the ice.
in the ice,
Uh,
but you can see everybody else.
aren't me and Quizzix behind the ice though? From with Where it would have gone?
Mm-mm.
To the side.
Ice wall is up here where the bow person was. The mage was back here, and you're all here.
Okay.
So here's the mage. So the ice wall is like
Splitting
Right
the
there.
two of us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you can shoot
like
past
that
it.
way, yeah.
Yeah, it's so. He whispers and shoots a large icy skull at Quizzix.
Mm-hmm.
It's a battle between mages.
Come on, low rolls. For him, I'll clarify.
Oh!
Yes,
No
perfect.
whammy. Nice.
Both remaining members of the Templars, feeling just disheartened by their leader dying, are just totally off right now, and shoots the skull, and all of a sudden the burns become too much, and he can't hold the power to propel the spell any further, and it just drops. And he drops the wand. The ice wall behind, holding Morien and Kaylah falls, and the ice wall holding Sin also falls.
I agree with Kaylah. The Templars are shit.
Now we're in the remaining player slots. You don't have to kill them with horrible deaths, but you can.
Whose turn was it?
It's not Morien, because he goes first.
Mhm.
Then the NPCs have gone, and then it's the rest of us.
The rest of us.
Of which I have been going first, but I don't know that we have to always go in the same order.
May as well.
You should.
Should?
Yeah, you
Okay.
should. To keep everybody to know what order you're in, and nobody's arguing about going twice.
Well, I'm going to return fire again.
Do it. What's your wham? Oh yeah, you don't have any wham.
It's just times one.
You don't have any, yeah. Sorry.
He's got a one coming to him.
Oof. So the fireball comes to it, and it does look a little like it might sputter out again, but it hits the mage straight in the chest, and that's just too much for him. He's overheated, and he falls over onto the ground. Not dead, but definitely out of this fight.
Good.
Just barely past his resistance.
I'm going to turn around at Sin and ask and put to him, do you trust us now?
Sin just got out of the ice wall, not really knowing what's going on. He does see Templar guts on the ground and a big mace lady attacking, but each round of combat, each thing done in combat is only about 6 seconds of real life time, true to D&D, so he can't really get a good idea of what's happening, but he's not running anymore. He's definitely perplexed at this new stance of things.
Mm-hmm.
It has been all of about 20 seconds of combat.
Yep.
Though we had a little bit of discussion, so he was put in the ice a bit longer ago than that.
Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have time to respond, but he's not moving anymore, and it looks like y'all have stuff well in hand. So he's gonna hold his spear like this and watch the remaining of the battle and see what happens between the remaining Templar.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to see how y'all handle her.
I can't remember
It's
if it was
Tiberius.
Tiberius, yeah, thought so.
I seeing I can't use ice shot now. I'm going to try and pin her down by aiming at her legs with just a normal swipe. Because I never got a quiver, so I don't know if I've got any actual arrows.
Yeah, you got arrows. It's just
I've got arrows. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm just going to try and shoot at her legs to disable her.
There are no quivers in the system, so you just always have as many arrows.
Cool. Cool.
You've got hammer space arrows.
Mm.
I mean, kind of the same in PoE when you don't have a quiver in the slot. You can still fire the bow.
And I do not do a good job.
So after your success with the bow, you try to get fancy again, and you take one big shot straight at her feet. You give her a little wink, and you shoot, and it goes right in between her feet. She's just like, "What are you trying to do?"
That was a warning shot. The next one straight in.
Next time, it's an arrow to the knee.
Alright, so I'm going to move up get closer, sigh at Tiberius, who really hasn't seemed to be very helpful at all. Neither is Quizzix, actually. Morien seems to be the one that has been great to hide behind. Imbuing...
Yeah, lying on the ground. I don't know what you've been looking at.
imbuing my dagger with fire this time, and going to swipe at her as a sort of, rather than shivving, or sort of swipe my dagger.
All right. You are behind her.
Oh, am
The
I
machine
behind
beeps.
her?
You don't have enough credit.
I am surprising her then as well, am I not?
She jumped over y'all, so
Ah.
she jumped over y'all and. Yeah.
Okay, well I'm gonna kidney shot her. 1d10
Backstab.
plus.
How many combo points do you have? I was only stunned for 4 seconds.
I gotta remember how to do this again.
Nobody
1d10.
else played WoW.
Oh yeah, I did. I've got 5 combo points. Don't worry.
Okay.
Plus 12. No, 1d10 times 2 plus 12, right?
1d10 times 2 plus 12. Yep.
This is gonna be the hardest part for this whole thing. Numbers.
That's a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, I rolled a 10.
Critical.
Woof!
Nice.
Okay, so what did you imbue it with?
Fire
Fire?
this time.
Fire.
All right. So bringing the knife into her side, you find a small slot where the chainmail doesn't cover, and you stab right in with fire, and it ignites within her armor, and you can see flames licking from her chest piece, and she is definitely feeling that one. She screams out in pain as her body is on fire. The cloth beneath her armor starts to burn. She is ignited. But she is not dead. She is not dead.
Excited.
She is still up. She's just more enraged, just angry as hell, swinging the mace all around, but she's still up.
I'm gonna
Take us
turn
back
and
to
wink
Morien.
at Morien.
No sound, Terry. But you're not muted this time either. Oh, no, yes, you are. You muted yourself
Why
from
do
chat
I keep
again.
muting myself? Oh, I know why.
It must be a
Fix that.
bind.
It is. I'm just gonna turn and wink
You
at
bind.
Morien. Because he understands.
Mm-hmm.
Morien,
Is it my turn?
it is.
I'm gonna hit her. We're gonna go hit her. He's gonna be cleave. She's still like in front of us now, right?
She's behind you, but yeah, she's pretty much straight line
Oh, she's
from
behind
where
us.
you were. Yeah.
Okay, because she said it was a kidney stab, so I thought it was. Either
I
way.
guess she's coming in from the back, like she likes to do, apparently.
Yeah, she did mention that before.
That's a character point now.
Okay. Shit, hang on. Was it? Yeah, no, times 2. Plus 4. And I'm gonna find. Ooh. Nice.
Is it plus 4? Oh, plus 2. Yeah.
Oh shit, it's plus 4. I put plus 2. So that's another 2. That's 22 damage.
Yeah, it's 22. Yeah. So how does that go down? Tell me how you'll bring her down.
Just from behind, straight in the head, just right down the middle, just
You split her head open?
like crushed inside her helmet that she's wearing. Just the whole helmet caves in.
And you hear her body sizzle as her head is just crushed inside and compacted into her metal breastplate. And they're all dead.
Yay!
Alright, so you leveled up,
Yes.
first off,
Sweet.
from all that killing.
Awesome.
And now we do all the loot, which when you kill people who use skills, you get a lot of loot. First off, any skills that they used are available for you to absorb.
Loot flame.
Second off, any items that they used against you are available to pick up unless they were irreparably destroyed.
Big ass hammer and a leech flame.
So yeah, is the cloth armor sufficiently unburnt to be useful?
Yes, the cloth armor is fine. It's like really hot, like it just came out of the dryer, but it's fine.
Right.
It's like toasty.
It's not magical, but it is pretty nice pair of cloth robe, just a regular old cloth robe. You do see 2 pairs of boots on the ground. The 2 were serviceable that we're wearing. The guy that got destroyed, his boots are still frozen in the ice and don't really look like they're going to work. But the 2 pairs of boots are magic leather boots. You will have to identify them, and when you find magic items, you roll to see if it turns rare, which we'll get into that in a second. The bowyer was wearing a leather armor, but it looks just completely destroyed. And there's the metal armor that you got. There's 1 wand, a 2-handed mace, and a bow that is magical. Unfortunately, he did not get to use any of it, even though he was the strongest guy.
My bad.
The bow clatters down from the ice that it was in, and it's white with filigree across it. Looks like it wouldn't be serviceable, but this is fantasy, so it's fine. It's definitely magic. So, here's how we do magic items.
Just in regards to leveling, we get 5 into an attribute of our choice. That just goes on as the base.
Oh, I don't know if you've got my stream up. Otherwise, there's the specific.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check. It's 5 to an attribute out of our choice, and we get to pick one of the basic keystones of either strength, dex, or int. Correct?
Yeah, and on the wiki, there's also a leveling up section specifically just to show you everything you have to do for that. So while y'all are doing that, I'll pull up the magic item thing.
Alrighty.
And what I can probably find it. You said they're cloth robes, right?
Cloth robe, yep, just a regular old cloth robe.
What does
2
plus
pairs
4
of magic
skill
boots.
points do? Is that's the thing down the
you already posted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The section where it says skills.
Skills
No,
are,
no,
for RP stuff. Maneuvering and athletics can be used in combat. Most everything else is RP. There's artificing too, which is really cool. It allows you to create machines. And soul crafting, which can be used for identifying magic stuff, or crafting slave brands on people, or talking with souls of whatever you want to do.
Base area attributes, keystone, miscellaneous. Do you add the bonus ones to the miscellaneous? Where the hell do you add the shit in this?
I think you added to base.
Oh no, you do it on the right hand side. I'm looking at the spreadsheet character sheet thingy. So all the stuff you add on goes.
Do we heal when we level up?
Right hand.
Good
I don't know that
question.
it explicitly says anyway.
I don't think it does, but I'm going to say yes. Just like in PoE, you heal and your mana is recharged when you level up. Any ongoing effects, like if you were suffering some sort of chaos damage sickness, would still stay, but you heal. So when you do chaos damage, actually has really crazy effects if you ever get a chaos item, just letting y'all know, but everything else heals up. Magic items are pretty fun too. Every time you find one, you roll a 1d10, whoever's going to identify it, and if you get an 8, 9, or 10, the item is rare, which gives it 2 mods instead of 1.
Well, I guess I'll start with the bow then. So what am I rolling? Just 1d10?
You saunter over to the cold bow and you pick it up and you try to look deep into the soul of the bow and you roll a 1d10 to find out what you see.
Just a normal magic item then.
Yep, just a normal magic item with 1 modifier. We're going to use the random weapon generation table for that. So in order to see what that modifier is...
2 because it's a 2-handed one?
Oh, yeah, that's true. 2 mods for 2-handed, sorry. Yes.
Sweet.
2 mods. So
and I roll a 1d100.
Yes, yep. Roll 1d100.
First roll is a 77.
Alright, so that puts 1 mana leech on it. You get 1 mana per hit.
Ooh.
Sorry. Is it 1?
That works with my bow skills because it's like an attack, yeah?
Yeah. So
Sweet.
1 mana
Cool.
leech.
It's cool. Yep,
It is
I'm
just
gonna keep
1
that.
on hit. You don't have a choice.
Skills, keystone.
1 more 1d100. 18.
And 18.
Which will get you 1d6 to random skill without an attribute. So go ahead and roll for the random skill, which will be... How many skills are there? 1, 2, 3, 4...
Basic keystone.
Like 16, so roll 1d16, and whichever one that comes up is the skill that you have a 1d6 in, which you'll then roll 1d6, see how much. A lot of rolls. But just like PoE, everything's random, the points don't matter. Alright, so 13, that would put you at...
Intimidate?
The Intimidate, and now roll 1d6 to see how much Intimidate you get.
4.
Alright, so +4 Intimidate, and +1 Mana Leech on that thing. The Intimidate didn't seem to work too well for the Templar who used it, but it might work better for you. So we've also got Metal Armor, Two-Handed Mace, Quizzix took the Cloth Robe.
Yep, the robes.
We got, and the Wand. Yep. Wand is not magical, unfortunately.
That's
but
fine.
there are 2 pairs of leather boots that are magical, that are
I'd like
still
a pair of
serviceable.
boots, please. I'm gonna scurry
Alright.
over and grab the pair that's closest to me.
Go ahead and roll them up.
Side question: how does rounding work?
Down,
Like-
always.
Always down? Okay, cool.
Yeah, just like D&D, everything is skewed against you, and no one wants you to win. So
Well,
roll
it's-
1d100.
It rounds down for the enemies too. So.
Yeah.
It's a D100, isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah, to see what mods you get. Or first, sorry, 1d10 first to see if it's rare. Keep
Yep.
forgetting that step. So roll 1d10 real quick before you do the 100. We'll scratch that too because you don't want that anyway.
Cool.
Whoa!
Oh,
Did I
nice.
get
You
rare?
pick up the pair of boots. Yeah, you pick up the pair of boots and you reach into them with your soul to try to see if there's anything that reaches back. And not only do you find something to reach back, but these boots are radiating a power. Almost a golden glow comes around the boots as you finally are able to see the magic within them. So now you roll 1d100 twice to see what 2 mods.
So,
Okay. The RNGesus has spoken. 1d6 to a random dex skill. We're going to say it's elemental hit, so go roll a 1d6 to see what that is. +4 to elemental hit. Oh, sorry, skill. Skill. Not
to a random dex
attack.
skill, that's fine. Do I?
Yeah.
By random, do I pick which?
roll
random?
1d4. Yeah, roll 1d4 for that. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I keep thinking
alright.
of skills like in PoE. So 1d4 to see which dex skill.
Come on, the one I want. Damn, that's all right. That'll do.
Stealth.
They're all
+4 to stealth.
They're all good.
And now roll for your second mod. 68. What's that? What does that get you?
one
68.
shot every time.
1d10 times 2 to life. So roll a 1d10, and
Nice.
whatever doubles that, you add to your life pool.
Very nice.
Very
Oof.
nice.
Oof! 16 extra life on them boots. Nice pair of boots. They're pretty much the equivalent of move speed boots in the actual game for this low level, because the dex, skill, and life. Also, leather boots give you resistance by being the virtue of being leather boots. So there's one more pair of magic leather boots on the ground, metal armor, big mace.
Big
That's
mace.
Morien walks over and grabs the large mace, although very finely made, with white innocent symbols around the head. Not technically magical, just very nice.
Just very nice. Equipment. Two
Now,
hands.
there's one more pair of boots sitting there, all pretty and glowy. They're on the lady that you just took the mace from. They are leather.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a pair of leather boots.
You reach down and take the boots off of her, and you can feel there's something warm within the boots, and it's not just dead lady feet, it's something magical. So you reach in with your soul crafting skill to try to find out what is within these boots that is reaching out to you with its power. And although you come close to the core of the magic within the boots, you just can't quite comprehend them totally, so they are just magic boots. They have 1 mod. So roll with that. What you got? 9. Random dex skill. So 1d4 for the dex skill. And you got soul manipulation. Nice. And then 1d6 for the added.
4.
Nice. So +4 to soul manipulation on these leather boots. And then there's metal armor remaining, and that's pretty much it. Unless you want to roll perception to see if there's anything on their bodies.
Is this after or before we've leveled up?
You level up. You can level up now. Level up whenever.
I'm just thinking maybe
yeah,
somebody
perception.
could roll perception. Yeah.
Yeah, after.
All right. I'm going to just have a look at Quizzix and assume that. Have you put your what attributes have you put your 5 points into?
Int.
Yeah.
Am
That's what
I
I'm
not?
thinking.
They also have skills on them too, or spells. I mean, or
Yeah.
not spells. Soul gems, virtue
Souls.
gems. Yeah, souls. So after looting their gear and messing with the bodies, you see a strange glow come up from the from each of the dead people and the pile of body parts. You see two blue souls come out of the mage. You see 2 red come out of the mace lady, and you see a green come from the pile of body parts. This time, after having consumed souls already, you can tell as you come closer to them that you see Frostwall, Arctic Breath, Heavy Strike, Leap Slam, and Rain of Arrows.
I will om nom nom those blue ones unless anyone else is going to complain about it, but too bad I'm already standing there.
I'm definitely going to take the leaps. I definitely want the leap slam. I'll take the other if people don't want it.
I would like just to take the rain of arrows.
Quizzix runs over and just dives headfirst into both the blue souls, and they absorb into your body. Now knowing both frost and fire skills, Morien reaches and grabs both of the red souls and just eats them. You gain Heavy Strike and Leap Slam, and Tiberius grabs the Rain of Arrows. Also, you can put these into soul gems for later, and also you can only know a certain amount of skills per character. I should have told you that before you did all that, but
That's all right. I'm happy with
It's
those.
1 per 5 base attribute, isn't it?
yeah. So if you have the attribute, right, you're right.
Right.
And you all start out with what is base 10, so you can know
10.
2 skills.
Yep, and then
2 skills of each category.
we got 5 from the level up.
Yep,
So
in one specific.
so 3 in that one and 2 in the others.
Oh yeah, you get it in all. You get 5 in all of them. That's cool. All right.
I also picked up a flask during that, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Which would
You did.
have completely recharged to have 10 charges.
So let's see how that works, because there is a specific way that flasks
Yeah.
recharge. Anybody finds it before me, just say something.
It was. I know it's with souls when the people get killed. but I
Yeah,
don't know
it's a certain amount though, so it's not
Yeah.
just like
that I don't
person
remember.
per. Flasks, blah 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 blah. Flasks regain charges via resting, well soul's energy, waypoints, and killing enemies combat. Flask hold 10 charges. You can use 4 of them, which it was half full, so it's down to 1 charge. Doesn't actually say how it recharges. So we'll say that your flask is back full after killing 3 humanoids with pretty powerful souls.
Mhm.
So it doesn't say how much you get per kill here.
And sorry, the flask had, because it says max charges 10.
Mhm.
Current charges would be 10.
Yes, yeah,
And I
recharges
use
all the
5
way back
every-
up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you use 4 each time. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why it's 10 and 4 instead
Yeah.
of 10 and 5,
Yeah.
but that's what it is.
Did everyone find the keystones for their leveling up?
Yes. The 4 skill points that we get, do they all have to go to one skill, or can they be split?
It's 4 skill points.
I assumed split.
I assume split as well.
I assume split.
Yeah. Well, it has to be split right now because you can only have a skill as high as your level. So your highest skill you can have is 2, unless you have bonuses from something else. So it encourages you to get a lot of different skills.
Gotcha.
Right, wait, are we level
2?
Oh no, we're only level 1.
So those 4
Your level-
points have to go in 4 separate ones.
You're Oh, is there a level 0 in this?
Yeah,
We start-
technically I think
Yeah,
you
you
started
start
at
at
level
level
0.
0.
Okay, well you're level 1, so you have
Okay.
to get, yeah, okay.
So 1 in 4 different ones. Cool.
Now, do they have to go into... Can you not put them into the red, green and blue ones? Do they have to go into the grey ones? That's what I...
Skill
No,
points.
they can go into any.
Those.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
all
doesn't
those are
attribute.
the only difference is like the ones in like the colored stuff are affected by your modifiers to
Yeah.
that certain
Okay, cool.
ability.
Well, I like all of the blue ones, so that works. And I have 1 extra point.
I think I might need like a 5-minute bathroom break.
Yep, I will also want one of those.
And
Might
I
grab
also need
some-
somebody who knows what they're doing to double check over my character sheet.
Yep, I think I know what I'm doing. Well,
I'm fairly confident. I just need to now pick my keystone.
I've taken Spirit Hunter so I can use Ice Shot more.
good choice.
I was
Whereas
thinking of
I picked
getting
up a
cheap
one,
shot
so
to
I've
help
plenty.
everybody else out. Because right at the moment, I don't see myself doing that much damage.
Well, I think the reduce enemy threshold, I think, is for your attacks.
Only?
Yeah, it doesn't apply to
So
effects.
it means you can do things like stunning and freezing, whatever, much more easily, but doesn't actually reduce it for other people.
Okay.
So good thinking, but I don't think it works that way.
I just want to be a support, gosh damn it!
Well, start by tanking up, get some life or resistance or something.
I got all that on my boots, mate!
Increase your flask healing.
That's what I'm actually looking at. Seriously. Efficient mixture. It also increases my mana.
It's gonna be tossing flasks at people.
Yeah.
You can be the alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, what I want to know, if y'all all have flasks, because then one person has a bunch of flask like buffs on, can you, in the middle of combat, take your flask off, throw it to her, and then she pours her flask on you?
No, so using a
assume that
flask
takes
is
an-
a major action. Using a flask on an ally is a major action.
Yeah.
Whereas using it
Right.
on yourself is a minor.
Oh, gotcha.
Can you tell
So you
I've
can
been
do
reading
that.
the rules?
Yeah, you can do it.
Well,
I
that takes
guess.
both of your turns from the sound of it.
Yeah.
I would make you do a athletics or something check to make sure you don't kill the flask. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and you're all in your rights to do that. Quick learner increases the dexterity.
Question
skill.
about Mana Leech. On something like Rain of Arrows, where you can have multiple people in a zone, do I get Mana Leech for both enemies that get hit?
It's just one across the board for every
Just one
attack.
across the board?
Or else,
Okay.
yeah, or else it becomes like
Insane.
a little cray.
Cool. Well, I can just constantly spam Rain of Arrows. Excellent.
As long as you hit. If somehow you miss with Rain of Arrows, like that scene from Revenge of the Titans or whatever, where the guy stands in front of the arrow wave and everything misses him. Alright. So you had 2 potential choices to make there. Also, your loading screen tip while people are taking breaks is things you do in the past may have unintended consequences on the future.
Okay.
Awesome.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
I will put up a be right back screen.
Can you play some sweet elevator music?
I'll be back in a moment.
Do, 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 do.
best to do, my brother. Now let's see what God has to say. I've dealt with far darker shadows than you, exile. I exiled an animal. Now you almost resemble a man, Garui. I offered the gift of exile, and you used it to reinvent yourself. I couldn't wish for a more potent instrument. It is woman's purpose.
They still hear us on
try
stream.
the will of man.
So yeah, check the stream.
Welcome to the greatest of arenas, duelist.
It'll be really loud, anybody who's watching this.
You'd bite the master that called you here, witch? This world is an illusion, exile. It is time you saw what real sacrifice is. The touch of God!
This is my advertisement for dried mangoes. They're good for you and good to eat.
They are so good. I haven't had any in a while, but I should get me some.
So yeah, I accidentally ordered. Well, I tried to order just one big bag from Amazon. They sent me 3, so I have so many dried mangoes in my house right now. I ran out of all my groceries yesterday. All I have to my name is dried mangoes.
Well, at least being dried fruit, they aren't going to go off anytime soon.
True. The apocalypse comes, I'll be ready.
Man, those are some really nice boots.
Pretty good stuff. Not too shabby. There were 2 decisions y'all could have made there. Could have gone with the Templars. I have 2 distinct storylines for either one.
Nice.
You can do anything you want, obviously, but
My
decision thing.
character would have been very happy to stand aside and let them go after Sin, but the others didn't seem to want to do that. And yeah, he feels some kind of attachment to them, so we'll go with this for now and see where we end up.
Seems like that
darker shadows than you, exile.
Kaylah is more against the Templars than she's with
Exiled an
Sid.
animal. Now you almost
Agreed.
resemble a man, Garui. I offered the gift of exile.
Back.
You used it to reinvent yourself. I couldn't wish for a more potent instrument. It is woman's purpose to tempt and try the will of man. Welcome to the greatest of arenas, duelist. God is watching. You'd bite the master that called you here, witch? This world is an illusion, exile. It is time you saw what real sacrifice is. The touch of God!
Terry's using a marginally different version of the character sheet than I am. The most notable and possibly only difference is that on my one the soul skills have 3 colored columns. And on that one it's just all white background.
Yeah, that's the only difference I can see.
stood between man and nightmare. Will you take my place, exile?
For the record, I opted to take Strong Soul as my keystone, so I have more energy shield.
I'm going with Titan for the health.
Yep, that makes sense.
What's y'all's EHP at?
10.
What's this?
I mean,
a real
20.
challenge.
20 life, 32 AS.
You've finally caught
Who's
my
the tank?
attention.
I wonder who that is.
A fellow exile.
There's still a metal chest piece on the ground.
One more
Unless Morien
fool
picked it
under
up.
Zana's
I
sway.
don't know, but if nobody else
Allow
will,
me to destroy
Seems like it's probably most suited
before
to
she
you.
has a chance to
all
betray
the red
you
stuff.
too.
Of course, in this game, there's not like
My
you
way.
don't have to have certain
Quick.
attributes to wear items.
You
Pretty
flew,
much
my
wear whatever you
friends.
want, however you want, unless there's like a unique or something that I make up. All the normal base items you can just put on.
yeah.
Were there any more flasks that we got from any of our other characters during that, or do we?
There
still
were
only have
not.
the one?
It's just the
Cool.
one, but you can search the bodies more thoroughly with a good old perception check.
So, Turi, 2 notes. 1,
Yes.
you've done your items by putting the life and stealth values in the boxes on the left. You can use that box at the bottom right to put all your item gear in, and then the auto calc will do it for you, except you overwrote the auto calc. 2, don't forget that the leather boots at base, being leather boots, give you 2 resist.
Perfect. Thank you for looking over
Other
that.
than that, I think everything else is correct.
Sweet. So because I overwrote.
Yeah, just copy
The
the
auto
formula
calc?
back in.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I've also.
So you just in the
There's mine as an
boots
example,
life
Drew, if you know.
spot can have 16, and the boots stealth spot can have 4, and the boots resist spot can have 2.
Which would make sense. There was an auto calc, but
Yes.
but I
but
can just go to a
it's
different
just-
screen and just go items, Control C.
It's just the same. Like you just do the Excel autofill thing from the cell below, and it'll.
Oh, of course. Yep. Sweet. Thank you, guys. Yes, I completely ignored that half of the screen.
I'd
So
be
what was it?
back one
Steel
second.
chest?
Oh yeah, and
All right.
also I've like nudged Morien and pointed at that chest
Yeah.
because
Um,
I'm definitely going to start relying on you to soak some damage for me.
Well, I've taken Titan, so
There's also 3 white tabards on the ground with the symbol of innocence on them that they were all wearing. Of course, one of them looks
we'll pee on
like
them.
you're not going to be able to put it on because it's ripped up beyond repair and frozen. So there's 2 white tabards on the ground.
Stack them up and pee on them.
And do those tabards give anything, or
They do not,
are they just,
unless you're
just decorative, so that
They
we
are
should keep them in case we
decorative.
need to use them at some point?
They are for
Armor.
attunement only.
Armor, basic armor, basic armor.
But yeah, I would like to do a perception check on
The bodies.
the
So that's heavy plate. I'm
the
assuming?
person that had the mace to see if they've got any flasks.
Okay. Well, you can do a perception check on them, and then you can see what you get.
So it's cloth, leather, and heavy plate. So it'll be a heavy plate. chest.
heavy blade, metal armor.
Increases
know.
Armor
Okay,
by
so you are rifling through the pockets of Macy. Even though she has names, her name is Macy now. And you don't find any flasks on her, but what you do find is a crumpled up note, sort of folded up over itself.
What language?
Do we
is
get
it
to know
in?
what's on the note?
Do we know the language?
chest.
If you are unwrapping it and reading it, you might. Or you might talk to the person who has been living here for a long time. You just happen to know.
Is more than one person allowed to make perception rolls, or is that just one?
You can make a perception roll again if you would like.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a close look, make sure I stripped everything off the mage, at least.
Oof.
Yes, it's an
Nice.
int skill.
Think I got
So,
everything now.
rifling through the mage's pockets, inside his inside the hidden pocket within the tabard that he still is laying next to him now because he took off his robe. But inside a hidden pocket, you do find a power ring, regular old power ring that he had been carrying around
Power.
close to his heart.
Cool. Maybe he should have been wearing it.
Might have been sentimental to him. Perhaps if you had gotten to know them,
Well, I'm getting to know what he could do, at least.
you're learning about him through the stuff he's bequeathed to you upon his
He's
death.
living vicariously, so to speak.
You're walking a mile in his shoes, literally.
Hmm.
So the note, are you going to try to read it?
Yes.
You pull open
Yes,
the
I will.
note, and into your hand, 3 small purple square objects fall into your hand. They're kind of like, they look kind of like hard candy, but they are milky and purple. And the note itself, for the sake of convenience for the game, you can read it because of common language. The only thing that I will say is not common in the game is the Vol language because it's Vol, or if you meet any Harbingers. So on the note, somehow
Lucky we've got someone
the
that can read
words.
Val.
This is true, you do. So on the note, the words start out as looking like arcane symbols that you can't read, and you feel the connection between the 4 of you strengthen as you try and really focus on this note. And finally, something comes from Kaylah to you, and you're able to read it more clearly. And finally, the words formulate, and it says, "We have found a way to track my errant brother. His consumption of soul energy has made him nearly as close to ascension as I. Use this enclosed supplement to grant the use of divine sight in order to locate him and swiftly bring him to justice." Now, divine sight is a mechanic in the game called soul sight, which means your vision changes to clearly see all soul energy, including negative soul energy of the undead. It works like heat vision.
And that's one of the things soul manipulation works to counter.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You can hide your soul with that. Someone with high soul crafting can probably see you better, but soul sight is used to track down high soul energy or soul energy in general.
Sweet. Well, I'm gonna pocket them for now.
Without telling a soul, pocket him.
Yeah, without letting anybody else know, they're just gonna slide into my pocket and
Just
Keep them
sliding
for a rainy
slide
day.
into your DMs.
Please don't slide in me.
He's all up in your soul.
All right, is everyone leveled and everyone good to go? Anything else y'all need to do in this grove?
And Sin's just been watching us the whole time.
Yeah, Sin is watching you loot the bodies. He's got his spear across his chest like this, and he's still just pensively thinking to himself. And he does see you pick up the note since it was pretty close to where he was. And he points the spear at you a bit and goes, now what did that say?
I don't want to tell him.
So what do you say to him?
I just tell him that it was nothing of importance. Trying to bluff him.
Keep your secrets then. He's not that interested, but seems like you're not working with my brother. You just mutilated 2 of his finest soldiers and burned a 3rd. This may be a ruse of some kind, very deep, but I doubt he would waste this many resources on me, even to find someone he considers to be his main enemy. Listen, there's a place you can rest, and possibly help us a little bit further if you'll follow me back to my camp.
Oh, so you're happy for us to follow you now. Very well.
Well, brother, you just kept me from being possibly maimed, killed, and captured. In that order. So, I would say yes. I trust you a little bit more now. But keep in mind, I have been throughout the woods, and if you try anything untoward, well, you'll end up like your broken friend over there, and he points towards the corpse pile.
1, not our friend. 2, where are your men right now? Given how much danger you were just in?
They know to step in when things are dire. I think
Mm-hmm.
you can understand why I would want to be a little careful with showing my forces, having seen what kind of forces we are up against.
Very well, lead on.
And he tucks his spear back into his coat, somehow, and just starts walking.
I'm
so
gonna hang back. I'm gonna hang back while Quizzix starts to follow Sin, and I'm not sure. Is anyone else gonna continue to follow Sin?
I'm going to be following Quizzix. He
Okay.
seems smart.
We're
Cool.
off.
So,
See the wizard.
I was going to say, he
Zen
did
looks
save
back
our
and-
life.
Zen looks back, and your friends aren't joining us.
I'm just.
Oh, they'll be along.
We should be out of earshot, Morien and I now. And I'm just gonna look at him and say, I'm not sure who you are or who they are, but you seem to be able to fight. We should stick together, right?
Hey, that rhymed.
Well, he's already made, like, the Unrealized already mentioned before, so just there's a feeling among us.
Okay.
We brought here together. He saved our lives in the pit, but we've saved his. The slate is clean, but we should see what he has to say.
Okay. And we'll catch up.
Sin turns back around, shakes his head a little bit, and keeps walking. Well, if your friends want to find us, they're gonna have a hell of a time, so I would suggest they come now if we ever stay lost in these woods. They can always go back to Theos and see if they can find some more Templars to smush.
Oh, don't worry. I have a feeling those two back there are not fond of Templars. They'll be along.
Alright. So, Sin continues to walk through the woods. I'm assuming y'all are staying behind?
Well, keeping up, but yeah.
Keeping up at a safe distance, I guess the other two are.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So you're social distancing behind behind Sid. And he walks pretty confidently forward. He is definitely blurring a little bit in a strange way as he walks, but it's only noticeable now that you're not being chased by the undead or people in white tabards. His outline seems to be blurring a bit. You could see a small tinge of black trail come off of him as he walks, but he still seems pretty human. But after a few hours of walking, he takes you a roundabout way through the woods. There's no clear path. You're over roots and through the middle of hollowed out trees even throughout the entire woods. And finally, you come upon a large foothill, and he walks around the back of the stone, and you see hollowed out under the hill, under the stone, is a huge encampment. It's backed up against the rocks, and it's surrounded by a rudimentary wooden fence and thick wood spikes jutting out from between the boards. There is kind of janky wooden cabins set up all through it, and tents as well. It looks like they haven't been here for very long, but enough time to have been built these cabins up. You can see people running throughout the camp. There are children as well running around and playing, but it's a muddy, sort of dirty area, and most people look like they're having a pretty bad time of it. There are people cooking and chopping wood, and people going in and out of a large cave mouth in the back of the camp. As soon as Sin walks up to the entrance, which is basically just a break in the fence, guards see him from the entrance and wave at him, and he walks through and he waves the rest of you through as well. He walks in through the entrance and tosses his spear to a fat man with a really sour look on his face, and he's pouring through some papers, but he tosses the spear and the guy just grabs it out of the air and sets it right next to him without even looking up, and he's still just shaking his head and cursing to himself while looking at the papers. This here is Tunk. He's our resident soul crafter and artificer. Need any help with that? Tunk can help. Also, I believe we have some rewards to give you for assisting me. If you would like to talk to him, I'm sure he can help you out. As Essel walks further through the camp, a tall older woman with long gray hair and a patch over one eye runs up and just picks him up in a big hug, like literally lifts him out of the air. And he's, listen, Essel put me down. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends, please. Oh, he loves some. I've been looking forward to you coming back for so long. What were you even doing out there? It's dangerous, don't you know? Templars everywhere. And he looks back at you and goes, Essel is our resident quartermaster. She can help you find a little better equipment than the rags you came here in. So enjoy the camp, get some rest, and come talk to me when you're done. There are rudimentary forges. There are, places to cook, places to sleep, and the quartermaster and the soul crafter.
Well, I definitely heard the word reward in there.
Yep.
So that's got my attention. So, what do you say his name is? Tunk?
Tunk.
I'm going to head over and
Crowd around him.
Yeah.
And Tunk is drawing on his paper, and he doesn't look up, and he goes, you must be the people that Syndrome brought back. What do you want? Did he bring anything for me? Do we have any more souls? We need more souls.
need more Vespine, guys.
We require more minerals.
I'm a soul.
Careful what you're volunteering there.
He looks up and he picks up these tiny glasses, like comically tiny glasses for a fat man, and he puts them on and squints at you. You're part of a soul anyway. Listen, we've got these 3 things here that you can take if you want. As long as you keep helping us, we'll help you. But listen, if I see these out there and you use them against us, I will eat your soul. So, he hands you 3 skill gems, and they are gems this time. They are actual solidified gems.
Right.
And he has a fire trap, a wrath, and a phase run.
I'm grabbing phrase run.
Says she wants to support, doesn't take the aura.
Yeah, but she's already loaded up.
A phase run is definitely appropriate for your character.
Yep, so I'm guessing that's the green. Well, right. Yeah, I've grabbed the green gem that I would instinctively know would help me run away or escape situations easily.
Upon touching it and holding it in your hand and focusing on it with your soul energy, you can see the visions of a very lithe woman running across the rooftops, blurred in your vision, and jumping down from the tall building and stabbing someone directly in the side of the neck.
I'll take that one, thanks. You guys fight over the rest of them.
Unless there's any opposition, I wouldn't mind taking Wrath.
Go for it. I'm fully booked on int gems at the moment.
Cool.
Upon touching the gem, you see a Templar warrior, probably older than the ones you saw before, as this one is decked out in gold, and his eyes are lit up with lightning across his face as he puts his stave up and summons a massive circle of blue around him.
I would also like, considering my background, for the gem to physically be present on my body.
Okay. Also, if you guys want MTXs, as long as it's based on your time period, like if you want your fireball to be Vol-oriented, like a red, sickly fireball, that's completely fine.
Yep, that sounds good.
Fire traps, what? Green?
Fire trap is a
Yes.
dex-based one, yeah.
So I got room for dex because I'm full for strength. If no one else wants it, I will take that as a hunter. It seems.
Remember, you can only have a certain amount of gems on you at any time, but since these are physical, you can carry them with you without using them.
But isn't the gems on you based on?
Gems on you. I think the way that he's using you're interpreting it as on you as literally on you. This is just physically you're holding it,
Yeah.
or it's in your backpack. It's not embedded into
The
your
ones,
skin
the
just
ones
yet.
that we took off the bodies, they were just souls. We had to absorb them to take them with us. So these ones we can carry and use later.
That's the one difference between this and like the actual PoE, because it's all about souls. So souls have the power, and gems are soul gems. Souls trapped inside gems, like Skyrim.
Yeah, no, I meant the power. Yeah, so you can have the power. It's 5 per whatever your base in that thing is.
It's 1 per 5, right? Is that what you said?
1 per 5.
I think that's what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, so I still got. So I can take 2 greens. So
If you want fire trap, go for it.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Now, is that
to
total?
use it.
Like if you have 5 and everything, can you have 3 gems on you? Is that what that means?
I believe it's like we all start with 10, so by default you can
10.
all have 2 of each color.
Each color, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's what I was clarifying. That's what I thought the rules meant.
Yeah.
So in which case, being a green one, because I'm loaded up on red, yes, I will load that up.
All right. So after you take your gems, Tunk goes back to working on his rune. Listen, you look like shit, so go talk to Essel, and she'll give you some decent things to wear.
Before we go, or before I go anyway, what did you mean when you said we're part of a soul? Or she was part of a soul?
And he puts his glasses down for a bit and looks up at you, squints, and then picks his glasses back up and puts them on. You're part of a soul too. You're each part of a soul. That's extremely interesting.
Part
Would
of
you
the
mind
same
if-
soul?
I can't really tell that. It does look similar. I just know that there's only 1/4 the amount of soul energy in you that there should be in a normal human. Would you mind if I had your body after you died?
I am all for science. Should I die?
Good.
You may claim it.
That should be sufficient research material. He writes it down. And your name?
Quizzix, Ipatzel.
Quiz
Haven't
goes
heard of
first.
me?
No, we don't get many tribesmen out here. The Vol were a pre-Vol tribe before they became the Vol.
Yep.
Any other questions for Tunk?
Somewhat humbling, I suppose.
So,
Very well.
Tunk, do you have anything else you can offer us to help us?
We have a large store of gems, but I can't give you anything more without getting something in return. Sin wouldn't like it if I gave away more souls than he'd ask.
Okay. That's fair.
Right, let's go talk to, what was her name again? I've forgotten already.
Essel, she's the
That's the one.
She's the big rhinoceros of a woman back there. She'll hook you up with some gear so you can help us more.
She'll
or whatever
hook us
you're
up with the
doing. I
good
really
stuff.
don't care anymore. He goes back and writing his runes.
Alright. Well, I'm going to head over to Essel, unless anyone else has anything to say. That's a no.
No, I can't think of any.
All right. So as you walk up to Essel, she sees you coming, and she stands up from this chair. It looks like she made it herself. It's got a lot of random iron parts on it, and she's sitting next to a big pile of discarded weapons and armor. Some of it looks like it's a little rusty, but a lot of it looks okay. And she stands up, and she comes straight up to you and just puts her hand on your chin and does like this and looks you over. Oh, yes, this'll work. I think this'll work. Completely forgot the voice I used for, so we're gonna... Did you come here for some armor? Perhaps some weapons? You can't just take them. Unless Sin said you could take them. Did Sin say you could take them?
Sin said you could help us get outfitted.
Ah, yes, okay. You probably do need an outfit. You look like you're wearing some bloody stuff already. Seen a little bit of combat. Come look at the things we have for donation. She comes over and she pulls you aside to a little bit beside the pile of gear, and you can see there is a one-handed sword, a stave, pair of cloth boots, a metal shield, and a magical cloth helmet. Everyone's there, so she also reaches into the bag that she has over her shoulder, and she pulls out flasks for everyone, one flask for each person, except for Kaylah, who already has them. She's like, "You are walking around here without a flask, you're gonna die." She gives a flask to each person.
Can I have?
You don't need another one. It looks like that
It's,
one's already seen a little bit of soul juice.
They're non-magical, I assume, just a basic standard flask.
Standard flask for everyone.
I am definitely interested in that magical cloth helmet and or the cloth boots, depending on what other people are interested in.
So what were
definitely
the
the
choices
helmet.
again?
So there is a one-handed sword, a stave, cloth boots, a metal shield, and a magical cloth helmet.
I'm not too interested in any of them.
I'm good.
I'll definitely take the helmet, and if no one else wants them, I'll take the boots too.
You could also wear the shield.
That is true, I am using a one-handed at the moment. But it's metal, it's not really my type.
All right, roll for that magic helm.
Alright, so what's the roll I do here? It's D10 or 100?
First D10 to see if it's rare. And it is not.
So
and then
close.
you do D100. Oof.
It's a big number, I
97.
don't know if that's
That's
necessarily
one-
good.
Yeah, that is. For cloth or voodoo charms, 1d10 times 2 increased ES. So roll 1d10.
Oh.
Excellent.
Oh shit, sorry. 1d4 speed for boots, specifically.
Oh, for okay, well that's fine.
Was it a helm that you were doing? Magic helm?
Oh,
Yes, the
I'm an
boots are
idiot.
not magical, the helmet is magical.
Sorry. Yes. 1d10 ES times 2. You had it right the first time. So,
Okay, so 18, and the base of the helm is 10.
No. Oh yes. I'm looking at different things.
Yep.
28.
28 ES. Pretty nice.
Wonderful.
It was a metal shield she had, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if no one else wants it, I'll take the boots too.
I got great boots. It's all about all I'm
One-handed
wearing.
sword, a stave. One-handed sword, a stave, cloth boots, metal shield, magic cloth helm. The boots and helm are taken, so shield, stave, and a sword.
I'm good.
You can't dual wield one dagger, one shield, one sword, can you?
You can.
Is
Not
it a
really,
sword or
can
is
you?
it a foil?
Why not? It is a regular short sword.
Oh, there you go.
You use half the. I think it's half the wham of both. Is when you're dual wielding. There is a specific thing on that.
I'll pull it up, but I will probably take that
I
sword.
mean,
since nobody else
based
is
on the
gonna use
fact
it.
that one-handers seem to have 1 and two-handers seem to have 3, I assume it's just the sum of the two ones.
Yeah, probably.
So you get,
Yeah,
you
that
get
makes-
potentially
Half of
more
both
stats.
from a crit
Half of both
calculation.
stats. Oh, for crit calculation.
So yeah, I'll grab that sword.
All right. Y'all taking anything else? Did someone get the shield? And no one wants the stave.
I don't think I want the staff. Let's just have a quick look. Where is it?
It adds wham to strengthen intelligence gems.
As
Yep.
well as one block.
And it increases your block. Actually, I think I will take the staff instead of my wand.
Well, you don't have to get rid of your wand. You can,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
can't have it equipped at the same time.
make sure y'all have all the different types of gear. If you would have gone with the Templars, you'd have got some weird shit. All right. anything else you want to ask Essel? She looks at you after you're picking through all of her gears, and she says, I have more here, but you'll have to pay, because I can't just give stuff away. Look around the camp, though. There's places to rest. You all look like you've been through something interesting. And then you can visit Sin in the cave down there where we're hiding out. You can visit the armorer over there. He's a blacksmith. He can make stuff for you, but it might take him a little bit of time. You can visit Tunk. He's lovely.
Do I have anything at all? No, I've come out of... Does anybody have anything? Has anybody bought anything with them through that portal that we first fell through at the beginning of the...
Nah, so mostly all the possessions that you had on you fell away and dissolved when you fell through. The only thing that was left on you was some rags of clothing.
Okay.
So you can go rest, you can go visit Sin. He told you to meet him when you were done resting or getting your stuff together. There is exhaustion in the game. And you have been up for, like, I don't know, 8 hours, probably, walking and fighting and all this.
I said the snot beating out of me, so I need to rest anyway.
Is block anywhere on the character sheet, or is that something separate?
Do not know. Let's see.
We're not hearing you, Tiberius.
Ah, whoops, I forgot to push it off. Does Morien get a cool scar because he got knocked down?
If
he wants one.
Good question.
The way he got knocked down, got hit with the mace on the top of the head, he does not. Because it's a mace and not a bladed weapon. Unless he wants a dent in his head.
We got a hell of a bruise up there, though.
I don't actually...
Well, I'm happy to go
see
rest
block.
before we go and talk to Sin.
I don't see block either.
Yeah, I can't see block anywhere except on the staff and dual wield
Block
description.
Block just means if they roll a 2, now you block. Correct?
Where are you getting that
That's how
from?
Andrew was doing it.
Oh,
That's
right.
how
So,
Andrew was
like,
doing it in the thing.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
like
So-
critical is
so
the top
one-
end value, block is the bottom end miss thing.
Yeah, so
Right.
a 1 is just a miss, but if they roll a 2 now with your staff, you block it.
Right. And same for Turi, because she's dual wielding, increases block by 1.
Yes, I believe so.
Oh.
Nice. All right.
Well,
Is
do you want
everybody
to go
resting?
Right, so
find a place to
if you
rest?
dual wield, increase your block by 1, assuming both weapons allow you to add the damage to the skill gem you're using.
Yep.
You always add all the mods of both weapons in either hand. If you wield 2 different kinds of weapons, pick 1 innate bonus to apply, not both.
That's
So if you have a dagger and a spear, you choose either the crit or the maneuver reroll.
And I have a dagger and a sword, which are both critical range 1.
Yep, so you don't have a choice.
All right, so you can see there are open tents that people are kind of putting food next to, but nobody's sleeping in. There are bedrolls made up in there, and Essel kind of waves towards those and tells you to go rest. You look like you've been beaten up.
I'm gonna go rest.
I like it.
Yep, I'm feeling that exhaustion starting to set in.
Hmm.
Now that the adrenaline's kind of worn off a bit.
So, everyone resting? Anyone staying up?
Oh, I'm resting, definitely.
Okay. So in your rest, everyone's asleep. And night comes pretty quickly. It's not too hard to find sleep right now. You've just been through hell. But you can see dreams. Morien? Yes. Morien sees dreams, and they just flash between large red pyramids to huge stone courts and walls and spikes coming from the ground to like a golden palace almost with red carpets and stained glass windows. You see all of that pass through your mind, and you don't really understand what any of it is. But eventually, the day does find you.
Yes, none of that would make any sense to me.
Sand is waiting outside your tent when you get up, and he's leaning on his spear and staring at you.
And what did he say his full name was?
Sindrel.
Sindrel. So I would, I guess, greet him as I get up. Thank you.
And how did you sleep?
I had odd dreams.
Oh yeah, that happens out here sometimes. Since the scouring of the earth, people have been seeing pretty strange stuff. Also seems to happen a lot more around me. What did you see?
I described a red temple, place of crystals, and some palace with red carpets.
The red carpet and the temple. It sounds similar to something that I was seeing at Theos. It's where Innocence has his cathedral. It sounds almost like the Court of Innocence. You sure you're not working for him? And he just kind of like jokingly points his spear at you.
Beyond seeing you in front of me, I'm not really sure of anything in the last day.
I know that feeling. After this all's over, we'll grab a drink and neither of us will be sure of anything. Listen, when the rest of your friends decide to wake and get off their lazy asses, we've got something to talk about. Back in our base of operations, as it will. The cave back there. Tell them to come meet me. I've got something I'd like to run by them. That is, if you're at all interested in surviving here. And then he walks away.
He just grins to himself. Survival. Well. And I go into the tent and kick the others awake.
Each individual tent he walks in and kicks you. Roll for damage.
Do you mind? A lady needs her beauty sleep.
Looks down. You've had plenty.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you do need some beauty sleep.
I like you less and less each minute I spend with you. I guess we're up now.
I forgot to do this before y'all went to sleep, but camping in my sessions or whatever is a time for like players to talk among themselves in character to get things straight. So we'll do that now as you wake up. Everyone's standing around and you have some time to discuss the things that have happened. Normally we do that before we rest because everyone's sitting around the campfire, but you can do it now.
In the morning, having breakfast.
Everyone was too tired to talk, too much to think about. Now you're waking up and you're eating breakfast, which is actually surprisingly good for not seeing many animals around. Bacon and eggs.
This is where all the animals went.
So, we're still here.
We are.
This wasn't just
It
a
wasn't
weird dream?
not a fever dream, not a delusion of the old ones. We seem to be here.
The old ones. You've mentioned that before. Who are the old ones?
The gods, the spirits of this world.
The gods. You mean like innocence?
Who?
I thought Innocence was Sin's brother, not a god.
That is
Where do you...
sin. The others worked for Innocence.
Yeah, the others are... They're bad people. Don't trust them. Take my word...
People.
Don't take my word for it. They
Yeah.
showed you. They're
Odd.
bad people, right?
Odd person, but a person, not a god. Not a being created along with the world.
Do you guys remember being someone and somewhere and then just being somewhere else out of nowhere?
We were all someplace between. I felt different when the man behind the desk spoke to us. Then we were here.
Yes, and his words were rather curious. He implied this is not the first time this has happened.
He said he'd seen us before. I had not seen him.
No, I had not seen him either.
And it has been a long time since I've been part of one of the shaman's rituals, I'm sure. My mind is mine.
Nice.
I was exiled. I was taken from Oriath to Rayclast. I can only imagine that they're experimenting on me. The other exiles, they talked about the experiments. Is this an experiment? But you guys seem really real.
We really are
I
real.
just reach out and like poker.
Pinch
like-
yourself, see if it's a dream.
You can reach out with soul crafting though at people, like try to see.
But I felt that. So you are real.
Soul approach.
I don't even know your names.
I am Quizzix, a Patzel, as I said to... What was his name? Tonk.
Tonk.
As I said to Tonk. I don't think I know your name, though.
Kaylah. Quizzix sounds like... You don't come from Oriath, do you, Quizzix?
Oriath? No. No, I am a student of Trinian, working hard to meet the Queen's desires.
The Queen?
You can make a lore check, Quizzix, real quick for me.
Can I? Okay.
Yeah, because the Vol of all the peoples are more involved with time travel than anyone else.
That's fair.
Oof. So, you do remember Alva because you were about to pick up the book about her, and you remember like seeing someone that looked like they did not belong there. Their skin was different color and they had different armor coming into the temple that you were working on that was under construction by your empire. You remember seeing her come in and leave with people that looked similar to Kaylah, actually, often. But you never understood why. They would just attack and leave. And they'd always choose the room with the gold in it for some reason.
I am beginning to have my suspicions. When exactly was it before you came through the portal?
Well... What do you mean by when? Like, what
When do you
year?
think it is? When is now?
Now is obviously 2007 after the beast.
And you? And I turn to... I turn my head to the right, and whichever of the other two is on my right.
I guess it would be me.
When is now?
Now is when the Emperor is ruling.
Yeah, no, I don't
Great
know the
shit.
dates either myself.
I can't remember the dates at all.
None of you would even recognize the dates if you were told them. Different empires and different peoples have different years too. So
But we're all going to come up
in
with different
in North
numbers.
Korea, it's like year 127 right now, and here it's 2020. So it could mean something completely different to each one of you.
But regardless
Yeah,
of the
I just-
calendar, the chance that we all pop up on the exact same number is pretty fucking slim.
Yeah, I just know that the great Emperor Chittus is currently has ascended to the throne.
Great.
Maybe that can help Kaylah. Maybe she knows something about the past.
You can roll lore to see.
Yes, well,
Technically,
Chittis-
Kaylah would have inklings of most of the stuff they're talking about, but it's going to get harder
Yeah.
and harder for your lore check the further back you go. The Eternal Empire wasn't that long ago, so you can roll if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. Did I do something? Oh, nope, just took a while.
That just delayed. So yeah, you crit.
Nice.
So not only do you remember Emperor Chittis from seeing scraps around Rayclast of drawn on by the great poet Victario about how he pretty much fucked up the Empire, but you remember the time period in which Chittis ruled, and that it was just before the fall of the Great Empire. Definitely many, many, many years before you lived.
Wait, you're talking about a time of like the Night of the 1,000 Ribbons, aren't you? Chittis Parandus, Izaro.
The 1,000 Ribbons came well before my time.
No, that Chittis can't be ruling now. That was a really, really long time ago. Like, I'm no scholar, but I know that was a long time ago. Like, a lot of lifetimes before mine.
At any rate, whoever this Chittis is, he certainly isn't the Queen at Ziri, the one true ruler.
At Ziri? Queen at Ziri?
Yes, she has been guiding my research, and I am suspecting that none of us are from the same time.
So Tiberius and Kaylah would have to roll lore to recognize who that is. Morien, being
I
old
rolled
boy,
a crit. Come on, let me just have it.
you crit by
I haven't got a
knowing
damn
more.
clue what any of them are talking about.
Morien doesn't recognize shit unless they start talking about landscape, in which case you might have recognized it from your dream. Oh, nice.
Nope,
Okay,
Terry.
so
I
being-
definitely know who.
being a little older and having actually dealt with the Vol in early years, you definitely remember Queen at Ziri. She's put her stamp on pretty much everything. She's a reason for a lot of the impurity that you've seen throughout your career as well. Many people trying to do blood magic and doing pretty profane rituals in her name, trying to bring her back. She was the Empress of the Vol, and she had 6 titties.
The important details.
Yes.
Gotta get that milk money.
So, Tiberius... Okay, so you've just mentioned Queen at Ziri.
Yeah.
Tiberius...
I know of Queen at Ziri, and I know that her and her people are the reason for my torture and my misfortunes with whatever his name is, Malakari, and the virtue gems, and experiment on me with their thermatology and blood magic.
So you
Well, that
guys-
doesn't sound pleasant.
Hold on, you don't know who Dominus is?
I'm sure the research was in a good name, though.
Who's Dominus?
I do not know any of these people or these places.
Is this...
These old ones he's been speaking of, do I have any knowledge of those, being the oldest of the other 3?
So, not by the name The Old Ones,
Okay.
but perhaps by a different name. You can roll... you could all roll lore on that one. The first ones are pretty prevalent, because some of the Asmiri still believe and still worship the first ones. If you
I'm not
mention
sure about the Val did fight them, but the Timeless ones actually had Ezamites as slaves. But of course, that would have been way after me, because I'm pre-beast. But
Yeah. Well, the Azamites have been around like forever, and so have the Asmiri pretty much. They just became eternal after they came all together. The Azamites are old as shit. They've been around longer than even the Val, I think. They were like one of the first tribes. The Karui, too. But yeah, so if he mentions the first ones, then
Well,
you
yeah,
can
the
all
crew
roll to find out.
came to here and fought against the Ezamites when they first landed.
Yeah, so Karui had been around, probably one of the first tribes.
The closest thing to a native
Yeah.
that you're going to get would be the Ezamites. Everybody else is an import.
So Tiberius recognizes the name, the first ones, as pagan gods, but that's about it.
Well, they went to sleep with the creation of the beast, so anybody after that would, they wouldn't have seen them. They didn't get woken up until now when we slayed the other gods. Yeah.
Right. Well, within the meta of the game, he is pre-beast.
I am, yes. Oh, him, okay.
Or, sorry, you're pre-beast, right.
I'm pre-beast.
Yeah. All right, any other questions you have for each other? Any other things you'd like to ask me that I already said before that you may not have remembered? Anything like that?
I'm all good to go and speak to Sin.
Did the man sitting at the desk in our very brief interaction with him, did he give a name?
His name's Tunk.
No. Way back. When we went through the portal.
No,
very brief.
No, you
interaction.
never asked him his name.
I didn't think so, but I just wanted to check.
3 questions, and the ones that you asked were not. The only one that you asked was, "Where are we?" I believe. Yeah.
Well, I think I asked what type of Templar trickery is this. Yeah.
Templar trickery. Yeah. But don't worry, because the time is circular in PoE, so you'll probably see him again. All right. So everyone is breaking camp, and you're finally getting the aches and creaks out of you. You're confused by the words of your companions. No one's really sure who anyone is, but you still feel that strange connection between you. If anyone knew anything about soul manipulation, you might could see more, but Tunk was unable to find out why you have each a fourth of a soul.
Oh, I've got really high soul manipulation, so I should. Can I do something to look into our souls?
Soul manipulation or soul craft?
Reach. I think it's soul manipulation is what it's called. It's all the same thing. But yeah,
soul craft specifically like the link.
Soul manipulation is a green skill, and soul craft is a blue skill.
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
Let me see.
Are you after?
So soul manipulation is the ability to manipulate soul energy. Can be used to bypass wards, traps,
soul craft is the one you need to read souls.
Okay.
So you would need soul craft.
Yeah. Well, I have put a point into that, but I'm at a total of +4 at the moment.
Well, you can always try to read the souls of your companions, or even reach out with your soul to try to touch one of them.
Well, I might give it a go.
Get their consent first.
I might give it a go, seeing what I can see of the others.
Which one are you going to reach out to? And are you going to ask him first?
Nope. I'm just going to do it as we're packing up camp, and just as the fancy takes me, I will reach out to Kaylah.
Everyone's getting their gear together, getting their items, wiping off the mud. Wow. Wiping off all the mud. Kaylah, you feel a strange twinge, and you look back, and you see Quizzix just staring at you, mean-mugging at you really hard, and a vein is popping up on his forehead, and he's really trying something. He looks constipated, but he's really giving it a look. But nothing else seems to happen.
I'm just gonna shake that one straight off. So we're gonna go talk to Sinnalara.
Yeah, so he says his men call him Sin, so it's okay to call him that, but his name is Sidrell.
I'm gonna call him Sin.
I'm gonna call him Robin Hood. No, I'm gonna call him Sin.
Alright, so everyone's packing up camp. Quizzix decides to give up his pursuit of reaching out to touch somebody, and you decide to walk back towards the cave where Sin said to come meet him out of sight from the rest of the camp. As you walk into the cave, it gets a lot larger once you walk in. The entrance is already pretty large, probably about 3 people across and 1.5 people tall, which is now our new measuring system. I hope y'all like it. And you walk in, and it opens up a lot more once you reach in. It's almost like a cathedral size of a cave, and in the very back of it, center back of it, almost against the back wall, you can see there's a massive gem, like what you see in a skill gem in PoE, but like the size of 2 or 3 people standing right up on each other. Just a huge gem, about as tall as a person as well, and it's sitting in this metal case basically that's holding it up from touching the ground. And Sin is right back there looking at the gem, just kind of pondering over it. There's a small door behind him that you can see as you walk closer to where the gem is. And he sees you coming and he looks over and goes, you made it. So listen. And he's still staring into the gem. We didn't get much chance to talk before, but you need to know why this little rebellion is happening. You've met my brother's clowns back there. Enos wants to try to become a god. That's the straight of it. There's nothing more to say. He's trying to gather as much soul energy as he can and become a god. He's been mining these things, and he taps the gem with his spear, from the earth all around our land. We don't know why they're here, but they seem to contain little pieces of divinity. And the more someone has, the stronger they get. At first, we were doing it just for fun. Each time we'd find a gem, I would take some and he would take some, and we became stronger and faster, and we won all the games, and it was very, very fun. But we were children. We didn't know what we were doing. Eventually, when our mother died, innocence became different. He was no longer my brother, and he vowed revenge against the first ones. The first ones... And he looks at Morien. You know about the first ones, don't you? The bestial gods.
Run with the first ones in the hunt, just as I have run from them when they are in their beast forms.
Well, then at least you understand their ruthlessness. They've been tracking down and killing humans, either enslaving them or eating them. They've become ravenous as of late, and there's no way to calm them. Each appeasement we give just drains more of the few people we have left, and no amount of soul energy we offer them is enough. So, Innocence's plan is to consume enough soul energy to ascend and become a god himself, a god for humanity, or so he claims. But I know the truth.
Plan? You mean that's what
yes.
he's done, right?
Not as of yet, although he is close. As far as I know, he's not a god, or else I think we would not be standing here right now.
He likes to tell a different story. Not that I
Have
ever
you met him?
believed it. Not him personally, but his followers. They tell a different story.
That is true. They do. The Templars that follow him are mindless thugs. They only believe every word he says and nothing of the truth that we tried to show them. I escaped the town of Theos with a small group of people, and we've made a camp out here. We've been collecting refugees and other like-minded people since. Sin is trying to collect all of the soul gems for himself and his followers. He will not allow the regular people to have it to protect themselves. He wants all the power in his name, and anyone who doesn't agree with him is thrown to the wolves. And the wolves, in this case, are much more dangerous than your regular ones. We have to stop him. And the way to do that is to put a spoke in his operation of mining. Now, after everything I've said here, do you have any questions on whether my brother is evil or not?
Never had a question to begin with.
So just like in D&D, you can roll insight into people, and I believe, yes. Negotiation, intimidate, artifice. No insight. But anyway, all right then. Truth be told, I am fairly close to becoming a god myself, but I'm not going to do it. This here would turn anyone into, would give the apotheosis and turn anyone into a deity. We managed to secret it away from the cathedral before Innocence could consume it. I stare at it often, thinking about what I could do as a god, but I know that it's wrong. I must live for humanity, and even to live for humanity, I must be human. But that aside, there's a
If you're
mining
looking for a
camp.
volunteer.
I would not allow anyone to consume this power. My brother, let alone a random person I just met.
Very well.
It would also probably kill you, having not had nearly enough soul energy in your life to be prepared for such a power. Right then, come with me. And he waves a spear and he goes into the room back behind the large soul gem. And in the room is some stone seats set up, just some basic stools, and a large map laid out across a stone table, and a few ragtag looking people back there in kind of like messed up leather armor with their own spears and everything like that. And they've got these leather caps on that look kind of like old-timey newspaper boy caps. Maybe that's just an American reference. But anyway, yeah. So they're standing around there. There's about 2 or 3 of them. And one of them goes, "Aye, we were watching you out there in the woods. You beat them Templar bastards up good."
Huh. So Sin wasn't lying, you were watching after all.
Yeah, we gotta find out who's loyal to the cause, mate.
No more than they deserved.
Sin walks over to the table, over the map, and he puts his hands on it. And you can see there's lots of little pegs on there and everything, but most of it has been like grayed out. Most of the areas of the map, and you can see there's a tiny spot in the middle, a white area where nothing is, and there is a single red circle on it. Come over here and look at this.
I
Everyone.
approach and take a look.
Right here is the only remaining mining encampment that Innocence runs. If we can capture this, we can halt his apotheosis and keep him from becoming a god. This is what we need to end this war and bring our people back together. Also, with a unified front, I believe we can stand up against the First Ones. If we're not fighting among ourselves, we could possibly fight the First Ones on our own terms. This is what we need to capture. The Morien mining encampment. Problem is, being the last one, it will be heavily guarded. So there are many options for breaking in. 1, a small team is sent ahead to infiltrate it, possibly disguised as people from Innocence's regime. 2, a full frontal assault with all the boys here. One last battle to end this wretched struggle. And if you can think of a third option, I would love to hear it.
So we sneak in, or we fight our way in?
I think we sneak in. Does Sin have any more tabards that they've collected over the course of their well,
Yeah, you can ask him. So I'm assuming you're asking him. Essel has several lost and found items from Innocence's Templars you can possibly wear, although it looks like you've found some tabards of your own. It might need a little bit of a wash, though.
We only have 2 tabards, right?
Yeah.
Yes, well, if there's any chance of I think the stealth mission sounds more appealing than the full frontal assault.
The main objective is to either steal or destroy all the soul crystals that have been mined in this camp. If we do the full frontal assault, you could sneak in through the back and do the demolition work on your own to destabilize the mine and bring it to the ground. We would sacrifice many lives, but you would have a better chance of not being caught.
Sounds like the best working plan we've got to me.
I don't have any particular allegiance with the people that are going to die, so I'm not too phased by it.
I am happy with anything that gives me a better chance of staying alive.
Exactly.
But
Distraction could be helpful. Full frontal assault would not be needed, but it would draw a great deal away.
We could possibly think of a distraction that doesn't end up with many men dying. We're kind of running short here. If you could think of a way, we have explosives we could possibly use, or any magical means to distract the guardsmen would also be welcome.
Do they have any other camps that we could attack first?
They do have a camp in Theos, but that is the center of his power. As I said, this is the last real mining encampment where the Templars stay. They're afraid of leaving their little cathedral these days for fear of the wolves.
the wolves.
The first ones have been encroaching on our land, as I said, taking no prisoners, merely eating whoever they find.
Morien, do you know much of these wolves?
Can you talk to your friends
Those
and
are
stop
not.
eating people?
They are not as I remember them. They would run with us as much as they may have run against us. They would cull the herd of man as we culled the animals. We kept balance in our world. These... He looks absolutely heartbroken hearing that that's what's happened to his gods.
So what's the decision then? I would rather not kill my men, but if it's all that you could think of, you're the only people with a reasonable amount of power able to consume soul energy that I've found in quite a long time. Outside of the Templars, that is. And they're not likely to help us.
May I have a closer look at that map just to see if there's anywhere that we could potentially strike a distraction that might make it easier to sneak in and detonate that mining camp?
Sure. So the map is, I don't have it drawn, which I should, so. But anyway, it's, and like I said, it's, most of it's grayed out. The only thing that is actually, like, visible here is a small white, sort of oblong-looking circle area, which is the whole area in which they have power, basically. They still hold sway. Basically the kingdom where they live. You are at the bottom of the map, the very bottom of the jelly bean, basically. And over here is the mining encampment. Closer to you than it is Theos, which is on the top left-hand corner here. Theos is marked as the main city where the Templars are, main town where the Templars are. So the mining camp is a little closer to you than it is to Theos. But you don't see any other Templar camps marked. You do see some places that have lines through them, but you don't know what that means. They've just been marked out, basically.
Is the mining camp self-sufficient, or do they receive supplies from Theos?
They receive supplies from Theos every few days in order to stay in operation. It's very hard to farm these days, and the only safe place to do it is within the walls of Theos, so their food is brought to them.
Perhaps we could first attempt to disrupt their supply chain before mounting any kind of assault or stealth mission.
I would advise haste, as innocents will soon collect the remaining soul energy from the camp and become a god. It must be stopped. Therefore, we do not have enough time to do two things at once.
I assume the same supply train is the one that would take the gems back. If he is in
Supply train
Theos,
coming from Theos would take the food. One going back would take the gems, yes.
we disrupt the one going back.
It takes a while for people to die of hunger, my friends, longer than we have.
No, disrupt the gems traveling back. That would draw the most people from the camp.
You would think, but since this is his inaugural reaping, he will have almost his entire parade squad there to carry the gems back as a display of power for his godhood.
Okay, so I don't see any other options. We either sneak in, or we go in...
Or we sneak in with a distraction.
Or you sneak in without a distraction, or you come in with a full frontal assault.
I think we use the distraction.
Or if you can think of anything else. He said he has explosives, and You can use magic if you can use magic in any creative way. Don't forget, artificing is also a thing in the game, so you can create mechanisms.
Don't think any of us have a point in artifice. Sadly.
Yeah. It's a really cool skill, but yeah.
I'm pretty sneaky.
All right. So it is 4:30 a.m. for me. If we...
Yep.
No, that's a good point. It's also...
Sounds like a good time to start a new fight.
Yeah.
So, well,
I do have to work in half an hour as well, so
Feels like a good
Y'all
point to
wanna-
stop.
yeah, we'll pick it up next time, and just let us know, Terry, if you're able to meet next week. If not, we'll do the next week.
Yeah, next weekend
Alright.
is Mother's Day,
In
so
Australia,
might
so-
skip that one.
Bring your
Yeah, but
mothers
that's
into the
most of us.
game. We'll write them as Templars that y'all can fight.
I
Yeah.
did ask her if she would come up to say hello, and she said no, so... Anyway, no.
All right, well,
That's
That
been
might be a
fun.
little bit morbid in my case.
This has been Path of Paper. I'm apparently unrealized, a name that I forgot that I picked. And have a good night.